so many adventures this last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. 3 minutes to 5, but 4:57 on August 18th, 2025. Do you know where your children are? Well, one's at work, and the other one is down the hall. And
Yes, they're all insane. I took them there myself.
They're all insane? Just left the asylum. Takes about an hour and a half to get out there. It's
I love it when they say,
oh.
"Do you suffer from mental health degradation?" Nope. I skip happily through it, singing songs.
Suffer.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, the suffering comes when I have to integrate. Other than that, when I'm home, no, not at all.
It's only difficult when I have to be around normies.
Yeah.
Normies.
It's normal for me to have 80 tabs open and for searching Google in the mind and doing 5 projects at once simultaneously and failing 3 of them and succeeding at 2. That's normal.
Oh, hey, Bill, I have some. I had some wonderful car stuff before we get started that you would like to laugh at. I know Guy is going to find a chuckle on this. Almost 300,000 miles on a Toyota.
Ooh, congrats!
Driver's side seat belt receiver on the seat finally gave out.
Okay.
So I have to go get a new one. Found one in a Toyota dealership in LA. $26.
Okay.
So they're sending me one for that. But in 2021, some gentleman of questionable parentage stole my catalytic converters.
Oh.
So I had to get new cats. I installed MagnaFlow factory replacement. MagnaFlow units. They come with a 5-year warranty. Still in the middle of the warranty. Driver's side cat is plugged. Well, not fully plugged, non-functional. So I replaced the 2 O2 sensors. I was watching the O2 sensors on my scanner, getting all the voltage swings that I expect for the cat. After the cat, voltage was going all over the place. Well, it's cheaper to go ahead and replace both O2 sensors on that side. Cost me about $50 for the 2 of them. Still getting the same sensor fluctuation. So catalytic converter's not working. Passenger side, pumping fresh, clean air. When I look at it on the scanner, fresh, clean air. Right where I look at it on the scanner, so had to call up O'Reilly's, let them know. And the gal was really cool about it. Well, it's going to take until the 25th for me to get you a new one. So I have to order it from Magna. She says, I will order it. We'll warranty it out. The only thing I have to charge you for is for the shipping. I said, you know what? It's because originally she said, well, to do it, I have to have you come in and buy the new one, and we'll warranty out when the other one, that way you can drive your car. And I can't give you $600. She says, well, you come in quite a bit. I said, yeah, and I used to work down at the catalog. Oh, hell. All right, I'm going to order it today for you, and I'll She goes, when it gets in on the 25th, you bring me the other one. I'll charge you for the shipping, and we'll see.
Pays to be in the know.
Yep.
Prince and low place.
Well, okay.
He said catalog, and that did it.
Yeah.
Me and Rob are both O'Reilly's so no lie.
Yep, I used to work at the corporate office in the catalog database division. So I was building and restoring and rebuilding the database and all the back end stuff for a while, and that got interesting. It was fun.
That sounds.
I was the guy that got to call the stores when somebody would say, "Well, the catalog's wrong." And some of the best ones I ever had was like, dealing with the idiosyncrasies that we've talked about before, like the early '70s Jeeps, the CJs. that you could have had an AMC 20, or you could have had a Dana 44.
Mm.
And I have to explain to these young guys on the counter, no, the catalog is correct. What you needed to do was look at the VIN number.
It was an interesting thing going on back then. 502. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council. Oh, God. I'm so tired. The Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great. It's been a long damn day. It's been very muggy. And my co-council members are...
Car Guy, Automotive Detective, Savior of all pedestrians, retired replicant, ex-chicken jockey, and still comic aficionado.
Rob the Blacksmith. This past weekend, I got to stretch some of my Masonic legs at a big event. And the reason I bring it up is because I had a few members of the Grand Lodge of Arizona who I spoke to about this very podcast.
Really?
Ooh,
So,
nice.
if any of you decide that you're watching tonight, I'm calling you out. I hope that you're having a good time.
Yeah,
I hope that you watch it all the way through. If you like it, click the like button once. If you dislike it, click the like button 3 times.
That's how we roll.
And be sure to comment. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Comments are king. Hold on 1 second. Whoa, Rob, what cigar?
This is actually, because it was a Masonic weekend.
Ha!
This
Oh.
is a Shriner
Oh.
from Hiram and Solomon, which is a Masonic, it's a Mason-owned cigar company.
Oh, nice.
And they make a whole series of Masonic-themed cigars. They use a lot of Dominican, Nicaraguan tobaccos. Very good lines. And the brother that I had mentioned before, Brother Charlie Galuzzi, not a sponsor, but
Not a sponsor.
and his brothers who own Boulevard Cigar Lounge, not a sponsor, but dear friend. They are friends with, I believe his name is Farouk, who is the owner of Hiram and Solomon. So the cigar industry is a very small group, and you have certain cliques and whatnot in there, but you also have some very good folks in there that can be found if you know where to look.
Hey, Rob, what would you consider the flavor of it in comparison?
I would say this is a
Chicken.
medium body. It has a slightly darker wrapper to it,
Ooh.
but it's got it's kind of a mild to medium draw. So the flavor itself comes through very easy and simple. Sometimes you get a little bit of peppery notes in it after a while. The other thing that I like is I tend to find a little bit of light leathery notes, like that flavor you get if you walk into in the old days when you would walk into the leather store at the mall and all the leather jackets, you were over by the oil can rather than some of the dark tan stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit lighter, a little bit easier, but it's that nice leather taste that you could get out of it. So it's a very easy draw, very mild, medium cigar. I really enjoy it.
Oh, that's good. Because sometimes you can get something robust or something that has it either on the top end or the back end, depending on the flavor of what it is.
Well, and most cigars will change. When you first light the cigar, the first inch or so will have one flavoring to it. As you get towards the middle, it tends to adapt and adjust, and that has to do with the fact that you've drawn smoke through, you've drawn some heat elements in there, and it tends to burn the leaf a little bit, gives it a different flavor. If you truly burn the leaf, you'll know, and the cigar will taste like a burned cake. And then as you get towards the tail end of a cigar, many times it will change and it will show slightly new flavors there as well.
That's a good quality because sometimes burning it, I've heard people say it, and it's when you overburnt the cigar, it just tastes horrible. It's got a real, it's like equivalent to like smoking an old cigar that hasn't been in a humidifier. It's like burning leaves. Is what it was explained. It's not a good experience.
Kinda.
Yeah, and that's the thing about cigars. Cigars tend to have they have the possibility of a lot of different flavors. And that's why sometimes it can be hard to describe. I've read some cigar reviews, and these guys sound like the most pretentious wine sommeliers that you've ever heard talking it on Channel 8 or on PBS when they go into the long diatribes. But some cigars genuinely can have these really interesting notes and flavors that change as you go through. And it also changes based on what you've been. I'm drinking soda. If I sat down and I had just had a big steak dinner and I was having a cigar, this wouldn't have been the one I would have chosen.
Oh.
Because this one would have been a little bit too light for me to pull the flavors past a nice steak, which has got more of the heavy fat. Usually it's got more spices and flavor to it. This is something that I would have after, say, chicken or pork or even fish. But fish, I might go to a very light cigar, very mild flavored cigar. If I'm having whiskeys, I would change the whiskeys based on what I might go for.
So you would compare that to like a light wine? Instead of like a heavier, it'd be like a light wine for fish and stuff on it. Just to give the audience a reference of what you're describing, it would be lighter in context what it is and for flavor and stuff. I also heard, and I might be wrong and stuff on this, is sometimes the oils, depending on when the leaf is harvested, could change how it actually burns and actually how it actually tastes in the Midlands, depending on the secretion of oils.
True.
So just like a grape, you have good harvest, you have bad harvest, you have mid-harvest, and that changes the palate of the cigar.
Well, right, and all leaves are aged. So when the leaves are picked, it depends on where the leaf was picked on the plant, and that will determine the characteristics of the particular leaf. And then the leaves will be aged in a tobacco barn or an aging warehouse. And then those leaves will be chosen, like you said, and they'll look at the year, they'll look at the type of leaf, where it was on the plant itself. And then the blender will come through and decide, I want some of the 5-year-old, I want the 3-year-old, I'll take some of the 2-year-old, and I'll use these as a filler or a binder. These are going to be the primary, these will be my wrappers. And they'll run those through. Most leaf doesn't get touched for a number of years, and then the cigars themselves, after they're rolled, they need to be aged so that they can develop their own flavor. Years ago, my son got himself an importer's license, which was about $50 in the state of Arizona. And you could order directly from the rolling house. There's still a number of them that will roll for you. Mm-hmm. But what he had done is when he got them in, he didn't like the flavor. Well, they had been rolled, but they hadn't been aged. And the documentation said you really should age these for at least 4 to 6 months to meld and grow. Well, we put one box in my 6-foot humidor, and we left it there for about 1.5 years. And at that point, I pulled those out, and my son said, these do not taste anything like the other. That's right. They've aged. They've had a chance to just kind of, they've had a chance to marry, to build. And it's like with anything that has the opportunity to age, if you leave it in an aging format, someplace where it can age appropriately, you can develop interesting flavors and tastes. Anything where you've got these wonderful combinations, come up with great things. You can also destroy some things if you.
Yeah, I can imagine. A little trial and error.
Yeah. I guess the same, on the other end of the spectrum, which, well done, guy. I didn't know you had so much knowledge about something you don't even use.
Well, just because I don't use it or don't partake of it doesn't mean no. Like my brother talking about wine Sauvignon, and they're very similar, And with the cigars and stuff, very similar thought process with it. Because just with the grapes, just with the cigars, you pick and choose. Like, the word that used to confuse me for people that it doesn't experience, like earthly taste, tones. But with cigars, it's like with some wines, is you got more of an earth taste to it, which means it's robust, but it's grounded. It tastes natural. It doesn't taste artificial.
Yeah.
So when you get a cigar, you have like a smoky taste. You have an earthly taste, a nice wood flavor to it. And it's not like everybody goes out and eats wood and understands it, but it's equivalent to how a fragrance, a taste, and how it actually comes off the palate. So a lot of people don't realize is that with cigars, I don't equivocate it with cigarettes, because cigarettes have the filters, they're different, unless you roll your own. Is that when you burn it, you have a flavor that goes through, and it tastes differently depending on what is actually rolled and how and even how you're smoking it. Because Rob, I'll expect you. What about what people dip? Because certain people would dip the tip of the back end of the cigarettes into cognac and so forth, and it enhances the flavor. But sometimes doesn't that alter it or change it somehow, or does it make it palatable for different people?
There's a wide range of thought on that. And there's some people who just absolutely eschew that. They say you should never do that. If you have to do that, then you're smoking a bad cigar. And other people that say, no, I enjoy that combination of the flavors, because when you dip the base of the cigar, you're basically infusing it with whatever it is, the cognac, the whiskey, whatever you decide.
Excuse me.
And as you draw the smoke through, it picks up that flavor, much like if you were to cook with some of these things. If you cook when I make tequila fish, the alcohol burns off, but the sweetness from tequila infuses into the fish. Well, it's a similar idea with the cigar. As you're drawing through, you're picking up some of those flavors, and they're enhancing the flavors that come from the cigar. Now, there are a lot of cigars that become infused. So some cigar companies will use a chemical infusion. They'll use a flavor, and they'll put it on there when they roll the cigar. There are other cigar companies that will take their cigars and they will age them in prior casks. So I have gotten cigars that were aged in añejo casks for a year or so. And so it infuses from the añejo going into it. I've had some that were infused with cognac, with different whiskeys, things like that. Done in port and sherry casks. And the idea is that it gives that additional flavor. And again, you run the gamut. There are people who absolutely scream and holler that, oh, these infused cigars, they're horrible. They're not real cigars. And then there's other folks that stand there and say, you know what? Is this something that you enjoy? Do you like the flavor? You're not doing any more or less harm to yourself with those than you are with any other cigar. But if it brings you some kind of joy, then that's the purpose. That's the intent behind it. So I don't necessarily tell anybody, oh, that's horrible. I'll joke with people if they smoke
That's horrible.
Swisher Sweets or something like that. I will joke with them about it, but it's what you smoke. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong.
No.
You chose.
You smiled and when my father handed you a Swisher Sweets, because, dude, that's like giving somebody a light Coors or Miller. Here you go. Oh, thank you.
Like I said, I never gave him a hard time. Now, what I did do is I gave him a whole bag full of nice cigars.
Yeah, you made a best friend that day.
He was very happy with that. But that's the whole thing. I mean, if your dad and I had known each other more and we'd had the opportunity to flip each other crap more often, then it would have been a matter of, it would have been, all right, well, come on into the cigar room. Let me show you something. See, this is what we do with Swisher Sweets. Cut it up and throw it in the trash and give him a good
Mike, you're right on that one, because my father had no time for people who were full of shit, who were all talk. He only had time. That's why he respected Guy and Ron and, here's a name you probably haven't heard in a while. Ray Grace was
Oh, yeah.
one of my dad's favorite friends of mine for several reasons, really. But for an incident... Let's go back in time, shall we? All the way to the early 90s. My parents need their house re-roofed, but my father will be damned if he's going to let some stupid company and a bunch of idiots re-roof his house. We're going to do this. Okay. So he goes and he gets all the material. Tar paper, nails, shingles, tar, flashing, new turbines. What am I missing? I'm missing one thing.
Gutters, rails,
Gutters, rails, one by, probably some. You always need some one by just in case. So we start. We're kicking ass. It's it's me, my father. Actually, Ray didn't show up till like the second half of the first day. But my older brother-in-law, Drew, is there. Yeah. So, Drew's not... You guys give me a lot of shit for... I'm capable. I look like, fucking... this old house next to him. So... I can't make it the second day. I have to work. I gotta work. So Ray fills in for me. Drew's there. My dad's there. Okay. On the street that unfortunately my father is no longer with us, but my mom still lives in that house that they bought in 1980. At the top of the street, the street at the end is a major street, and there is a medical complex that has, it's been so many things over the last 30 years that it's a dentist's office, and anyway, some random delivery guy pulls up, excuse me, he pulls out, he's got a little tiny truck, like a little Mazda or a Nissan, little Courier, because this is the early 90s. So this is a late 80s model, fill in the blank, tiny truck. Much like my little Red Ranger. So, this guy, this is a, it's not... And I hate to use this title because I just applied for a job for them. It's like a Sonoran Labs, and if you live in Arizona, Sonoran Labs does all kinds of medical testing across the board. So this, who knows what this guy's dropping off. But he's obviously running late, or it's one of these here's this thing, get this organ to this place as soon as possible. Who knows? So... the dude leaves the truck in neutral and doesn't put the parking brake on and runs into the medical facility. They're putting shingles on. We got a lot done on the first day, so there wasn't a whole lot to do, but the house has two, one is for the bedrooms, one is for the garage off the main. So it's a little tricky. So all of a sudden, the way my father tells the story, because again, I was at work, I saw none of this. Drew all of a sudden goes, "Hey, there's a truck," and my father, who is totally focused on roofing land, what? And he said, I started to look up, and I noticed that Ray Grace didn't even use the ladder. He maybe went down 3 steps, jumped down, and ran all the way to Voltaire, which is the next street. And Drew just stood there like Drew does. And my father's like, okay, he's already formulating a plan the minute he realizes nobody's driving that truck. Oh, this is bad. Because, dude, this is a upper middle class residential area. That truck's going to go through somebody's block wall or house. This is bad. Or garage or whatever. And Ray gets in, and Ray's fucking awesome. And he just kind of gets in, hits the brake, hits the parking brake, boom, gets out, closes the door, because he's just that fucking cool. He's always been that cool. You know, he's one of those guys who are like, man, I wish I was as cool as Ray. So, and incidentally, one of the best DMs I've ever played with. And he, like, for us, DMing was like the module. For Ray, the module was the first act.
The module was a suggestion.
It was the it was the prelude. That was because now he's made like 4 stories that you're like, this isn't in the book. I have the book. This is, you know. So all of a sudden, the guy that was driving the truck is some. Ray's like, I turn around and some big fat sweaty guy was trying to hug me. Oh my God, thank you. Ray's like, whoa, dude, okay, get out of here. So from then on, Ray Grace, in my father's eyes, Ray Grace is a hero. He's a hero. Ray's a hero. Why is Ray a hero, Dad? Well, you know, he didn't even think. He just acted. He just ran out there and he stopped that truck. Here it comes. There could have been a child that could have been wondering. It's like 11:30 in the, you know, before, and it's like there's no kids wandering around. But for my father was a realist, so it was always the worst case hypothetical scenario. There could have been a kid that was wandering around for some reason, and that truck would have killed that kid. But Ray saved the day by stopping the truck, which is, I'm not taking that away. That's fucking awesome. Especially because Ray has bursitis really bad, so a lot of the times his knee looks like a fucking volleyball. And if for those of you who have had bursitis, he described how painful it was. So I don't have it, but I understand now. That one of those things like, I never knew this was this horrific. Thank you for this knowledge. I'm going to be way more respectful in life from this point on. I got to make some phone calls. Hi, sorry I was a dick about your thing. So that being said, that's like one of the, you know. Meanwhile, my father's so focused on what's going on that he doesn't realize, and he put Drew in charge, that a lot of the lines in the roof are straight.
Oh.
Luckily, Hannah's company came along later and fixed it all because they, had a bad storm and there was some damage. And so yeah.
Oh yeah, but you gotta love those stories. You gotta love those experiences and stuff on it. It makes it fun. Your dad was a hoot sometimes to be around. Your dad was a hoot. All the times I've been around him when I was a young kid and stuff on it.
Yeah. You were raised to be very respectful, and that respect with him and manners with him, and especially my mom, went a really long way. So, like, you know, the environment that you and Ron and Ray and, you know, a lot of them, that you like were allowed to come back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Your dad. If he didn't like you, he'd let you know it. Your dad was a straight shooter, so
either that,
he'd come up and
either he would be really rude, or he would just ignore you. You just don't exist, which is I think that was a thing in the 1800s, and it carried over a lot into the early 1900s. And only like that is considered bullying behavior from the 1980s on. Even in Tombstone is a perfect example. Now I know that was written in the early 90s, but oh, Johnny, I forgot you were there. Forgive me, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But
I forgot you exist.
Your
Okay.
dad had purpose with it.
Yeah.
Your dad had purpose with it, is to keep us straight and so forth on and stuff. And the funny thing is, some of the stuff your dad said, is some of the stuff like my dad said, I quote later. And I'll be like, oh man, where did I heard that? Oh yeah, that's right.
God, it's our parents.
I was on the receiving end of once, and now I'm on the giving end. Oh, and I was like, oh.
It was always interesting in the magnitude of parenting. When Ron and I were little, we went on a couple outings with his father where we went up north and we went to a lake and we went fishing. But what it really was is his dad got in a boat and just kind of went on the lake by himself with a rod, and Ron and I are like, what do you want to do now? Let's do this. You know, and, you know, Ron was always the voice of reason. I'm always the, hey, let's catch a snake. You know, hey, that's good. No, we can't do that. We're like nine. Huh?
We were well-mannered feral kids. We had to figure things on our own.
That's a good way to put it, because you were very respectful to. Even in my adulthood, it took me to about 25 for it to feel comfortable calling adults by their first name, because that's just not something you were allowed to do. That's like something you could get smacked during a social interaction. Gee, Carol! Oh, okay, sorry. Mom, Mrs. Smith, that's, sorry about that. Yeah. When meanwhile, the other adults like, it's fine, you can call me Carol. It doesn't matter to me.
It took me a long time to call your dad by his name because I kept calling him sir. Then later on, he started correcting me, and I said, well, thank you, sir. And then I started calling him by his name. So it took me a while to do that.
He's scary. Well, he was. I've been calling him sir for all my life. No, not really, because he's... most of the time, he's type A. So, wake up. I have this to do for the day, but these are the projects that have arrived and arisen because this is maintenance. That I have to check the evaporative cooler. The pool is doing this. Your mother wants this done. So it was, and then when Marie moved out, he did a shit ton of work in their townhouse, and then the house north of here off Cape Creek Road, and then he was still doing stuff out by Falcon Field way out there in East Mesa. Come on, we've got to go. You've got to help me. Drew should be able to. I don't want Drew helping me. You're the one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you want it done in an hour, not 5 hours. Gotcha.
Not 5 hours. Your dad was interesting.
Yeah. Not that he couldn't have done it all by himself. It's just faster with two. I know what... By the time you're 20, you can anticipate your parents.
Yeah.
And I don't... Is that taught, or is that instinctual, or is that because you're part of both of their DNA?
It's survival. It's survival.
It's the most basic survival instinct. You learn and you adapt. Not everybody does it as well as, but you learn and adapt. So you go back as far as you can, human evolution. And we learn there is a certain hierarchy, regardless of familial relations. You have a hierarchy where you're at. These are the ones that make determinations. These are the ones that give me direction, and these are the ones that have information to share with me, and I can do work that they need me to do. So there's the positive reinforcement. Hey, good job. There's a negative reinforcement. I'm about to slap a flat side back of your head. So,
why can't you do anything right? Jesus Christ. If you embarrass me in front of these people, I swear to God.
Exactly. It's the old joke. You see the meme joke that says, you can't insult me. You can't scare me. I used to hold a flashlight for my dad.
Oh, let me go back to Philadelphia. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It was so funny because Beth has like really no memories of Philadelphia. I have a shit ton of memories of Philadelphia because Beth was under a year old when we moved out. She was, yeah, because about 78, 70, half of 78, right before the big blizzard, we moved to Tempe and we stayed there about a year and a half, and then we came up to where they're at now. So my Aunt Mildred would come out and visit my mother's aunt, and Mildred was a Catholic, and Mildred Schnell, German, Irish, German, English, and when she was around us, we're chaotic. This is out west. We don't go to church every week. We do whatever the hell we want. Within obviously within reason. I mean,
within arm's reach.
My parents were very strict. I don't want to make it sound like we were, I have long hair because I choose to, but that's not the way of my father. He hated it. And then after about 22, 23, he just stopped bringing it up. Where my mom every day, well, if you cut your hair, well, look, your hairline's receding. It's because and then she would give me a bunch of ethnic reasons why a bunch of other, because these nationalities of women all go bald because they have long hair. They leave them in ponytails all the time. What are you talking about? It's hereditary. It's your mother's father. If your mother's father has a receding hairline, which Pop had a very full head of hair, and then about the time he hit 40, well, like it happens, you're an older man and DNA catches up with you. And dude, we went to high school with people that started going bald at 22. It happens. It's not like it's funny when you're young, but when you're an adult and you realize, oh, it's across the board, that you don't. It's like the cheapest, weakest insult in some, like the whole losing hair thing. Or, I'm sorry, but Ted Danson was on, I think it was David Letterman, and because he had the monk, the skull cap, where that was where he was receding, and the host brought it up, and Danson's like, I don't give a crap. I call it my intellectual mooning of the world. 40 years later, that's still hilarious.
It's quite true.
It didn't fall out, it fell in.
Yeah. Or they interviewed David Coverdale from Whitesnake, and he's like, so many albums, so many, like, gold, blah, blah, blah. And all you want to talk about is my goddamn hair. It doesn't do the singing, folks. If it falls out tomorrow, he'll still be able to sing.
Right. I am not Samson. My hair does not dictate my ability to sing.
Yeah. I'm not Medusa from the Inhumans. It doesn't, grab stuff for me or give me any special powers.
Powers and stuff.
Yeah, I've just saved a lot of money on haircuts, not giving a fuck what my hair looks like.
See, and that's the funny thing, because in my family, it was the opposite. The men on my father's side, the men always had a full head of hair until the day they died.
Lucky bastards.
And many of the women, so this was the Italian side, many of the women lost their hair as they got older. So when they were in their 50s, they started to go thin. When they got into their 60s, it got bad. To the point that my grandmother, my Italian grandmother, who was one of the meanest women I ever met in the world, I was about 7 or 8 years old when the original Salem's Lot came out. And I was in San Francisco visiting. And I was with my older cousin. We stayed up and watched Salem's Lot. So if you remember what the vampire looked like, purple skin, like long hair, all
Scary.
whistles. So I had a nightmare that night. My mother came in to try and calm me down because I apparently had woken up and was screaming. And my father comes in. He's trying to quiet me down. My grandmother, who was the nastiest little Italian lady, was screaming and swearing down the hall. And she walks in. So the hall light is behind her. She's illuminated from behind. She doesn't have her wig on. And she's not even 5 feet tall. And she's got the old house coat on.
That's awesome.
And she posts up in the door. And I point, and I'm screaming bloody murder. And my father can't help himself. He's falling out. He fell on the floor. He's laughing so hard. And my mother has to walk over to my grandmother and tell her,
Jesus Christ, get back back in the fucking room. What's wrong with you? Don't you?
So my dad,
That's awesome.
finally, he gets up. He's like, oh my God. And he looked at me. After years later, he said, afterwards, I thanked my son for one of the best evenings I've ever had in my mother's house.
Like and subscribe, folks, for more humiliating stories from our past. Yes.
Oh, a bunch of them too. Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. We were talking about that, Bill. We were talking about a little bit stuff like that. We were talking about funny things from.
Just to finish the story, Mildred would yell Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, but she would say it really fast. And all of a sudden, at one point, Beth, who was really young, like under 6 or 7, turns and looks at us and goes, "Who's Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?" Never mind.
They live up the block.
Yeah. You know, down the street next to the Ursos? Yeah, that's on the end.
That's the 3 kids down there. She's hoping we'll go play with them.
The best
Who are
was,
them and how come I never met them?
well, I mean, Mildred, I loved Mildred, but Mildred was a spinster. Mildred is your classic sad story of what happens to a lot of very large families where one child is basically chosen to take care of the parents. So any would-be suitors or would-be girlfriends, if it's a male, that usually it's a female, that happen to come by, they are literally forced away because they want this individual to take care of the parents. The problem with that is that when the parents die and the child is now an adult and has spent their whole life pretty much being like a nursemaid, they're pretty much just used by the rest of the family. Oh, Mildred, they'll take care of that. Oh, they'll just, hey, give them money. And then when that person reaches the elderly age, they don't want to deal with them anymore.
Yep, and nobody to take care of them.
Yeah, and that's not, no, Mildred was taken care of. I don't want to make it sound like, we just abandoned. She was in a home in Bryn Mawr. We missed her dearly. But it's almost like, it's sad in a way because that person doesn't have their own life.
Yep.
They're born into a family to be a servant, and that's incredibly unfair. And that's imposed upon... Did you forget to plug in again? You've had all day. Go ahead.
No, and don't even think about that. I'm just drinking some water. I had to get a bottle real quick. I was coughing a lot.
Oh.
It's like Only the Lonely.
It's going to erupt and stop everything out all of a sudden. Sorry.
It's Only the Lonely. Finish it.
Well, it's just like Only the Lonely with John Candy and Maureen O'Hara. John Candy taking care of mom. That's why he's can't date the girl from the mortuary. And
that was a good movie, actually.
Yep.
John Candy's son is going to play Barf in Spaceballs 2. I'm worried because I just watched Happy Gilmore 2. Well, it's Happy Gilmore 2. It's a movie. Why did this get made? Why? And the problem is, it's like, okay. You killed Julie Bowden? Dude. I want to see her play more hockey. I mean, that was, like, hot. Let's get the... I love the way she handles a stick. Anyway, the problem is that they made Happy Gilmore, like, too happy... You already had Happily Ever After. You don't need a sequel. There's a lot of stuff that you don't need a sequel. It's okay. Go make something else. Go create something else. Don't do a sequel. The Princess Bride, no sequel needed. Happy Gilmore, no sequel needed. Billy Madison, no sequel needed.
No, if you're going to do a Princess Bride, you need to do a new line. So it needs to be the Dread Pirate Roberts, not the Princess Bride.
Well, hold on. If you wanted to do this Three Amigos 2, okay. Because at the end of that movie, what happens? They ride off into the Mexican desert. They're bound to find another town eventually or die. But what's really going to happen is they're going to stumble onto a ranch or a farmer and be like, all right, let me take you gringos to a villa, you fucking morons. Here we go. And then he'll take them there, and there'll be some other Zorro type scenario going on, because there needs to be more Zorro movies. It doesn't have to be Antonio Banderas. We can get somebody else. But those movies are fun, like Robin Hood, because there's going to be a new Robin Hood movie, and like Ice Pirates and stuff like. You need to have more like fun movies that you don't take seriously. Raiders of the Lost Ark, King Solomon's Mines.
I would love to see a Black Adder series. Films, where you're just like the television program.
Yeah.
We're following the lineage. Here's the Black Adder from the medieval times. Here's the Black Adder from the Renaissance. Here's the Black Adder from the 1800s. Here's the Black Adder from that would be fun.
Hold on.
You can play it.
Let me catch up Americans who are not familiar with the Blackadder and Rowan Atkinson and British comedy. If you've seen Forrest Gump, there's that moment where he's talking about Lieutenant Dan's family. Lieutenant's family died in every major war. And they do a montage of Gary Sinise dying in every major war. That's pretty much the Blackadder if you had all that backstory. Is that accurate? That's fucking accurate. Yep. I'm impressed with myself. Thank you very much. Cheers.
So you could have fun with that. And you could really play it out and have a good time. And it doesn't have to be the Blackadder. I mean, you could take that same storyline, figure out another character. If you wanted to make it American, it's easy to do. So you could take some poor schmuck who got here in the 17th century, and he lives long enough to have a son, but then he's killed in some truly stupid and horrific manner, and then his son grows up, and you could follow that. It's the same idea.
We had a pretty cool story. The Kellys coming over because John leaves. John and Thomas have some kind of argument, and I haven't gotten the full story. And he leaves Donegal, and he comes over to America. And my father and my the history tell the same story of they got off the boat. They get checked in at Ellis Island. We're going to drop the O in Kelly, O'Kelly, so that people won't know we're Irish. Okay, sure.
Yep. That worked.
No, never. So they leave, because Ellis Island is in fact an island, and they go to a place called Liberty, New Jersey, which I've actually been to, and I have pictures of, and it's fucking awesome. And it feels eerie. It's an empty building that feels like you're shoulder to shoulder, asshole to belly button, with strangers that are anxious, but there's no one around. It's one of those, like if you're a little bit of a psychic, this is a fun place because there's just a bunch of dead people standing around waiting to be processed. So what my father says and what history says is once they get out of first they go into the Ellis Island processing. Okay, you don't have any crazy diseases, you're not a threat, you can come into America. Okay, you're here. Now, John doesn't speak any English at all, he only speaks Gaelic. So he leaves Liberty Island, and what the mines of Centralia would do is they would pay young boys to yell in Gaelic, if you're Irish, you're not going to find any work in either New York or Philadelphia. Come with us to the mines. They're hiring. So then he got on a train for like 2 or 3 days, ended up in Centralia, worked there forever, has my great-grandfather Charlie and about 9 other kids, which Charlie and John start 2 different lines. And John is where Princess Grace of Monaco, that's his, like, granddaughter. Like, my dad is Charlie's grandson. And he's like, oh, I met Grace when we were teenagers. She was nice. She's very quiet, very beautiful, but she's also my 5th cousin, so. And John, Kelly, and I think 2 of them went on there, and they all have the same fucking names. It's obnoxious because, hey, the Bible, Catholics. But that line kind of comes down, and you have this, like, Charlie starts all kinds of businesses, and he's an absolute failure at most of them until he finally hits it big with industrial linen. And then he becomes substantially wealthy in the, not just because they're doing laundry on hotels, hospitals, restaurants, the army, the navy, all that, because they didn't have personal washers and dryers back then. This was the, early 1900s and before. So it was weird.
Oh yeah.
That's what the Kellys were doing all that. Oh, I also found out my dad was telling the same story, is that his mom is, she's actually an interesting Dolores. So Dolores, her mother, is right off the boat from Germany. And she's one of 5 children and 2 parents that leave Germany because the Kaiser is out of control. And we're going to America. But my great-great-grandmother is the only one that speaks English. All the rest of them only speak German. And I have very faint memories of her because she was super old when I was young. But she ends up marrying a guy who's from northern England, and this was kind of cool. So, here's what Browell, I can't remember his first name, he finds like a museum or a hall, like a Mason Hall, or like a, Order of the Antelope kind of, or maybe it's a golf course or a prestigious area, and then he contacts his relatives over in England, and they find a building that's about the same size or larger that's being demolished, and they pack up the entire roof and the gutter system of that building into barrels, and they ship it, like literally ship it with ships over the Atlantic. And then my great-grandfather, I think his name was William too, actually, they would get that and unpack it and build the roof. So I remember my grandfather, who was also named Bill Kelly Sr., My dad would be a junior because they're both William Edward, where I'm William Joseph. Anyway, but my grandfather goes, I was just sitting there and trying to help my father-in-law, and this was a side job. I was just happy to get out of the laundry for a day, and I didn't have to fold clothes or run a machine or repair a boiler or a generator. And I'm hammering these nails, and these copper nails are handmade because this is like 1931 when this is going on. And all of a sudden he walks over and he's got a thick Northern English accent, and he's like, "You do realize that those nails are $1 a piece in 1931. So my grandfather's like, "Oh, shit, I'm really sorry." He's like, "It's okay. It's just, please be more careful." It runs in the family. We're all overzealous. It's like, "You're costing me like $5 a day. Please stop."
Yeah.
In the middle of a depression. Knock it off! Well, both their families were doing very well because everybody still needs laundry done, even the government, even the hospitals, even the restaurants. And then they were making money hand over fist, basically re-roofing mansions and estates with shale, old school. And that's a bragging
slate.
And it's a bragging flex. We have a roof from such and such England, from Manchester, or
I have a slate roof that's over 400 years older than my house. Oh, that's cool.
There you go.
Because the slate itself, unless the slate fractures, the slate itself never wears out. And so that became a very important component. And the slate mines were extraordinary places. I mean, it was killer work. You did not have a long life expectancy if you were making slate tiles. You started as a kid.
Yeah.
Over here, you're going to get to move all this heavy crap. We're going to get 6 of you kids to move this rock, because the guys that can stand up, they're the ones that can reasonably flake off the slate without cutting their own fingers off.
Yeah.
No, keep moving through it.
My dad's like the first, because there's other Browell children. Dolores was a twin, Dolores and Joan. And, well, my dad used to, it was the country mouse and the city mouse. So my father had a cousin also named Bill Browell. And because the son didn't want to do the roofing. Well, yeah, I understand why. That's a lot of fucking work to, re-roof the house that's the size of a football field, while you're waiting for barrels of roofing material to come overseas. So he was a farmer and he was also a mechanic. He was really into restoring cars while he was in between slaughtering animals and planting fields. But all of his kids ran away from the farm, only to become farmers later. It's that thing with the children were working in the mines, which is true. Charlie was working in the mines and he hated it. That's why he escaped from Centralia to Philadelphia. But then we got the children out of the mines and we outlawed child labor. And then Minecraft came along. Children yearn for the mines. Give them a pick for Christmas. Like and subscribe, folks.
Get to introduce them to the Tommy Knocker.
The Tommy Knockers. Speaking of things that aren't real, let's do the days of the year. Today is Serendipity Day. I absolutely love this. Serendipity and happenstance. Most of the time it's a giant pain in the ass, but sometimes it's a home run. You got to focus on the positive. Second, for the August 18th, 2025, National Fajita Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Who doesn't love fajitas? They're so delicious. National Ice Cream Pie Day. Since you were already, was it Dan? Is it Dan or Jim that's into wine? Because it's National Pignon Noir. It's fucking French. I don't know. I don't speak French.
Pinot Noir.
Thank you. Day, and then finally, National Couples Day. Those poor bastards.
Oh.
Poor bastards. Anyway, Serendipity Day and fajitas. And then to top it all off, ice cream pie. And then I'm not a big wine person. There's, I don't know. I hear there's some wine that are stronger than actual liquors, spirits. Like there's wine that's stronger than, and it's like, well, I mean, depending on what kind of process you're using, that's possible. It's possible to make anything 10 times stronger. That's why Everclear exists. That doesn't mean it's a good idea.
The good old absinthe.
Absinthe. Yeah, that exists. That's not a good idea. That stuff's really powerful. Don't fuck with it if you. Which I've been going back and watching all the old episodes, and on episode, I think it's like 6, when we're doing the Santa delivery and it starts, you and I are both rubbing our noses like we just did a whole bunch of cocaine. We did not do a whole bunch of cocaine. I do not do cocaine. I don't think Rob does either. No. Because both of us are like, are you okay? I'm okay. It just looks real suspect.
I work for the hospital network. I can't even, because I work for a national Catholic hospital network, I can't even partake in legalized marijuana in any of the states because we are a federal contract.
Yeah.
And so at the federal level, it is not approved. So you can get away with it in certain aspects if you have a medical card, things like that. But should it show up because there was a requirement for a drug test, then you have a whole lot of nightmare that you have to deal with. The saving grace for me is I'm not necessarily going to get pulled over and called out by the U.S. Department of IT specialist review because I was driving a laptop or a server while under the influence of controlled substance.
And that's not fair. That's not fair because a high level of THC will hang out in your fat cells for up to 2 months, depending on your personal metabolism. Most of it's 30 days. Don't start screaming at me in the comments, like and subscribe. About 30 days because, dude, it's 30 to 60 days. It's your metabolism. How good a shape you're in, how fast how fat, water soluble your fat is due to the ratio of how much you exercise. It's. I'm no nutritionist, but that's what that has to deal with. Whereas alcohol is different. Where if you got shit-faced drunk last night and then the next day you take a urinalysis for a drug screen, guess what? But pot's going to show up for at least 30 days. Unless you use like Zydot or Test Free, or there's like 8 of them that can. Just get a medical card. It's worth the money. I mean, don't smoke while you're working.
I'm glad I'm too damn old to be on the trucks anymore.
Yeah.
Because then it was far more often. I was between calls in a beautiful big bright red Ford ambulance coming off of the 51 freeway onto Thomas Road over by what now is where Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
We used to have a station house off of Thomas Road in about 24th Street, 32nd Street. Anyway, coming off the road, off of a highway, come to the stoplight because I need to turn onto Thomas heading eastbound. I stop for the light and stop for the traffic, and the next thing I know, bam, I get hit in the rear. Well, anytime there's an accident with an emergency vehicle, you have to go through, I lost my driving set, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the normal procedure was that I would have to immediately go down for a urinalysis. And I would have to go through all these other things.
Mm.
The specifics of the circumstance, the guy was tailgating the ambulance. And when the police officer gets there, because I had to call it into dispatch, I had to get everybody called out. We pull off to the side of the road after the police officer gets there and sees the situation. My district manager shows up because he's got to be there for all of this.
Mm.
The officer comes over to me because he doesn't he doesn't want me talking to the person who rear-ended us. Don't contaminate the story or any of the rest of it. That's And he comes over to me and he goes, I don't even know how to write this in. I looked and said, what do you mean? He says, well, the guy tells me he saw that you were an ambulance. I asked him if he saw the traffic that was coming. He said yes. I asked him if he saw the red light. He said yes. I said, then why didn't you stop for the ambulance? He said, because I didn't think the ambulance would stop.
Dumbass.
So he looks me square in the eye. He says, I don't even know how to write this up. I can't write him up for stupid. That's not a ticketable offense.
Negligence. No, yeah, you're right.
My district, and there was no damage to the ambulance. I mean, it was a slow, but it was still an impact. My district manager comes over and he looks at me. He's talking to the officer for about 5 minutes. The two of them break out laughing. I mean, they just, now he hears the story. He comes over to me and says, you know what? I can go ahead and rule on this one. You don't need a drug test. I'm not taking your driving status away. And just get the hell out of here.
Just get the hell out of here.
He's like I can't even, I don't know how to explain this one. I don't know how to write this one up, except that there is no way you could in any way be at fault. And you couldn't have been drunk or stoned because the guy ran into you because he didn't recognize that you were stopping for a red light.
Sorry.
Get out of here and continue with your shift. Thank you, sir.
You have fun dealing with the cosmonaut here.
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys stay in this. We're out.
Not to turn this onto a darker level, but this is where, like, alcoholics and pill poppers are starting to be neck and neck for car accidents. So, 2014, 2013. Yeah. I still have the S10 that I bought off a friend of Amanda's, Mary, who's awesome. And this is oh God, it had a lot of miles on it, and ignorance is bliss. I didn't know about the S10 frame conversion kit and old cars stuff yet, but I'm going to work. You know, I'm going to Toys R Us. I'm high as a kite. I'm drinking coffee. It's 9:45. I'm traveling down Scottsdale Road. I am going to make a left on Cactus, go to the 101, go down to Indian Bend, park my car, clock in, start unloading trucks like there's no tomorrow. Then after the truck's all unloaded, going to put the U-boats out and put the toys and shit out there. All of a sudden, here's this woman. I'm in the far left lane. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this area, and most people are going to be, it's 3 lanes. 3 lanes! I am in the far left. I am trying to get into the turning lane. 4th lane, which only turns left. That's your only option. No other decisions. Just left. And she in the middle lane decides that she's going to make a U-turn and start going north on Scottsdale Road. I don't use my horn very much. I do like my father. I just yell at the hey from with the windows rolled up and then move on. She literally careens into my fender, and she's got a much newer car. This is like a 2009. This thing's like almost brand new, all plastic. The grill comes out. Part of the fender comes off. She comes, what are we going to do? Well, unless you want your insurance to go up. Lady, I'm on my way to work, and this is a truck that's it was like a 95. that's like 30 fucking years old. For me, this is just another sexy dimple on her fender. What are we going to do? Well, I'm going to go to work. I don't know what you're going to do. I think you should throw your grill in your back seat and call it a day. You should be thanking me that I don't want to sue you because... And on the inside, you spilled all of my coffee all over the cab. The cab was already fucked up. My coffee! My coffee! I barely got any sleep. I have to work till 6 a.m. and now my coffee! Luckily, there's a pot there, and I'm the one who brings... It's going to be fine, but that's my focus right now is bitch destroyed my coffee. So, she's... Dude, she's zoned out. Her pupils are huge. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like a 7-year-old. I'm like... You should be thanking me. All of a sudden, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue. I tell them what happens. They go talk to her. Get back in your truck. Yes, sir, officer, sir. All of a sudden, they come back. You can go ahead and go since you're going to work. I mean, I literally have a Toys R Us shirt on. I got caught. Well... I'm like, I kept telling them, she spilled my coffee. They keep laughing at me. So, they know. They know exactly where I'm going. They know exactly what's going on. We see them in the parking lot at night when we're on break, and we wave to them. They know what the fuck is up. Next thing I know, they're like, you can go. I'm like, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I look over, and they've got her on the side of the road, and she is failing this sobriety test bad. They let her get back in the car. She tries to make a right-hand turn in the far left lane. They immediately turn their lights on, and that's the lie. I was gone after that. About a week later, I got a text from her telling me that her... brother-in-law or sister's boyfriend was a body guy, and he had fixed the damage and sent me a picture. I'm like, only in Scottsdale did they let, did they let Bill Pop and Pepper Ann there go and destroy the county. And oh my God, 'cause she was on oxycodone or cotton or I don't know, or percocet or what, I don't know what they are, but dude, I'm high on weed and you're fucked up right now. I mean, yeah, the caffeine covers it, but because I'm a very, unless I'm in a huge hurry, I'm a super defensive driver. Drive like you're invisible was the best advice I ever got. Because then they can't hit you if they can't see you. So, she turned into me. And I'm honking and yelling and pointing at her, and she's still... Drugs are bad, okay? Kids, don't do them. There you go. Stick to weed. Alcohol sometimes, never in abundance. If you need
That's why I have this beautiful room you see, this narrow section that you see of it. That's why I have this room in the house. I have my whiskeys, I have my cigars. This is where I enjoy that. When I leave the house, it is with none of the whiskeys in my system. Spent too many years cleaning up after that.
I can imagine.
It's a sad state of affairs. But, I mean, that's the state of things. And hopefully, people will learn in the future not to do a bunch of prescription drugs and then go driving down the street and turn into... I mean, I'm going like 45, and I slowed down to 30, and she still crashed into me. 30 miles an hour. You can run 30 miles an hour.
It's always fun to go driving on Percocet.
I don't like Percocet. I don't like Vicodin. I don't like Percocet. I don't like any of the... You know what else I don't like? And Gabe was watching the show, and we'll eventually have him on. He's a fantastic artist. He was with Worldwide Villains in the very, very beginning. Gabe Kleesholt. And purple sticky salvia. And for like 30, 45 seconds, it's like the best time you ever had. And then after that, it was the wave of paranoia that I had never felt before. They were making fun of me for years after that. Because I just, like, we were all sitting out back, and all of a sudden I just, like, had that feeling that I was being, you know, just the ultimate big brother level of they know they're being watched. And I grabbed, like, everything in one swoop and ran into the house. And Christine and Cookie and Gabe just thought that was the most hysterical thing, and they made fun of me for weeks after that. I'm sorry, I had a reaction on a drug. What do you want from me? Would you rather I shit my pants and throw up all over the place?
I always got the best one I ever had was Soma Compound. But the problem was that when I was a great big gorilla and I got hurt, the doctor would always have to give me heavier doses of some of this stuff. And the Soma Compound really doesn't, it's a muscle relaxant, but it doesn't give you any euphoric state or anything like that. That's what it's intended to do. It's intended to try and relax the muscle so that you can give the body a chance to recover. But he gave me max dose to the point that when I was first taking it, he made me call him. Now this is back in the very early 2000s. And he says, all right, I want you to call me when you take this so that I can know how you're doing. You won't find a doctor today, ladies and gentlemen, who really wants you to call them directly for anything. And I'm talking to him, and he has me on the phone for about 15 minutes because he wants to make sure that it doesn't, that I don't fall into a stupor, as it were. Finally, I said, you know, I'm feeling a little tired, but I'm not feeling any effect of this. So he says, okay, hang up the phone, just go to bed. I hang up the phone. I go to stand up, and it was that classic Robin Williams joke. Oh shit, gravity works. My muscles had fully relaxed at that moment, and luckily I was standing next to the couch, and I went down on one knee, and I said, okay, it's doing its job. Thanks, Doc. I crawled into bed. I had the first really good night's sleep since I'd injured myself. To the point that my German Shepherd was laying in the door to my bedroom. Wouldn't let my father or my uncle come into the room until I got up. She refused to let anybody near me.
I'm talking about good night's sleep, and this past weekend, and I reposted all of the videos, and Guy commented on one of them. What a fucking gambit from Saturday on, because Pete called me up, and there had been negotiations. Excuse me. Twice. There had been talks, and I got a little pieces of information. They're going to go to this place. Okay. Then all of a sudden, what are you doing on Saturday morning? Uh-oh. Sounds like I'm working for you on Saturday morning, Pete. Why? What's going on? Can you be in Tempe, near Tempe? And they're talking back and forth. Saturday, 5 a.m. Want to be there at 5 a.m. Okay. 5 a.m. I wake up at 3 anyway, because I don't have a life anymore. So, and this isn't a stab. This is accident. Where are you? Well, dude, when I'm driving, I got my MP3 player going. I can't hear. Oh, no. Something's going on. Finally, I get to Gilbert and the 202. Where are you? Sorry, I'm running late. I'm just up the street. Where are you just up the street? Well, I just pulled off of Gilbert. Why are you pulling off Gilbert? Well, I'm in Mesa. It says 2010 East Mesa University. I'm going there. That's Gilbert and University. Why would it say that? That's what the text said. And all of a sudden, Judy's like, oh my God. Did I text you Mesa? Yes. I meant Tempe. Okay, let me get back on the freeway. I'll be right there. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, if this is the worst thing that happens today, that's okay. Oh no, I wasted some gas and wear and tear on my 95. The check engine light's already on. The transmission, even though it's been replaced 3 times, it's acting like there's no fluid in it, even though there's fluid in it. So, the differential's been leaking for a long time, and Joe and Pete and I talked about this. Could this be a differential problem and not a transmission problem? And all this time we've been looking in the wrong place? Because that happens with cars, where you're like, this is happening. Okay, it's got to be this. Okay, we replaced that. Well, it was fine for a day. This is happening. Motherfucker. Okay, it's got to be something else. So we get there, and that's Chevys, 3 trucks, 3 frames, and all the parts and pieces, plus the shelving and everything. I immediately meet this guy, Sean. I think Reed is his last name, Sean Reed. And I'm like, I know this dude. I've had conversations with this dude before. I know him. His face is familiar. The way he moves is familiar. And his voice is familiar. Where do I know him from? So I start running through Ren Fair and old jobs and haunts, and I can't place it. So I get there at about 6 in the morning, and we even load up my truck, and then we take it out to Whitman. We get Harold's truck. Okay, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., I'm going to get to Harold's house out there on the west side. Harold's building it's a gazebo, but really it's a patio with all of he's building a bar and a bunch of other stuff around his pool. It's fucking old guy paradise. It's awesome. He's got neon beer Budweiser, bar is open, and put a big television here. So Harold has a boat out. Oh, bye, Stella. Harold has a boat out at the ranch. Harold has, I think, 1 square body out there at the ranch. He just bought, I think it's a 64 Falcon station wagon, and brought it out there to the ranch. He's got a 65 Chevelle that he brought out there to the ranch. But this is his house over on the west side at Bethany and 80th Avenue or 79th Avenue, something like that. He's got 2 white trucks. He opens the side gates. Holy shit. And I said the wrong year at first because I wasn't sure. I'm like, what is that, a 62 Ranchero? He's like, no, it's a 64. A white 64 Ranchero. And right next to it is a green ragtop 64 Malibu forest green convertible. So he said something as we were driving, because I was riding with him for a while, because we did 2 trips, 3 trailers, those 3 trucks, the 57, the 78, and the 84, and parts and shelving, and a 283 and a 350, and fuel lines, and a metal rolling staircase, and just because turns out, Guy, you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Sean graduated Horizon High School in 1992. Wait a minute, I was a hockey player. Oh my God, do you know John Wheeler? That name is really familiar. Well, I got bad news. He's no longer with us, but John was huge into hockey. He was a preacher's kid. He was a wonderful guy. Used to sell him weed a lot right out of high school. But because it was like, where do I know you from? And then we talked about school. I'm like, where'd you go to high school? Horizon. Holy crap! I graduated in '90. What year did you graduate? Oh, '92. I probably like had a class or knew somebody, or I know I've seen you before. He was a cool guy. This was that screen printing shop. That's the video. Father had a stroke, and he doesn't want to continue the business. And it's screen printing and the heater and the embroidery, and it's like, well, you're going to cash in selling all this very modern, awesome equipment. You can see it in the videos. Like and subscribe. But small world. So, that brings me to this, because I can Don King this all the way back to... it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Because I'm super paranoid. All of this stuff is old. All of this stuff is unobtainium. They don't make it anymore. One of the fenders for the 57 step side got crushed around the... It's bent. It's not crushed. Pete overreacted. It's junk now. Throw it away. No. So I'm taking this to the blacksmith. Yeah. He was telling me that... you don't need to scrap it. You don't need to throw it away. It's got Bondo all over it. We're going to work on the... I hate Bondo. Yeah, I've been well-versed now. And I don't blame him. Bondo is kind of the cheap way out. And Bodyman Bill just comes by and just, spreads Bondo like it's a sealant all over every... Hey, Vinny. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Repair it to his... And I said, no. Rob has told me, and then Guy sent me a bunch of videos. If you heat it and cool it, and heat it and cool it, and heat it and cool it, and heat and cool it, you can bring it back to the original, like you had said. It wants to... Yeah, you're the expert. I'm not going to babble about it. So it's in the back of the truck.
Metal has a memory, and it likes to get back to where it was. But you have to massage it. Now, the old guys, they would be able to work that piece back and bring it to a point where they would just barely have to lay the smallest skim coat of lead over the top, and then they would file it back. Nobody would know that it was like that it had that problem. Some of the really great craftsmen would go in there with those hammers like what I made. And they would go in there and they would beat it back until it was smooth. And then they would use no lead. These are the guys that would take a long time. They'd take your torches that you just got, and they would work that metal. They would build themselves. What they would do is they would make a sand pile outside the shop, because that's all that my leather beating pads are. Is it's filled with sand.
Yeah. So
they'd make a sand pile out there, then you could heat it, you could work it, reset the sand, and you heat it, you work it, and you bring it back.
Yeah. You know what he's got out there, and he'd like to get $2,000 for it, but I think he'd take $1,500. It's 99 Caprice, okay? Engine, transmission, wiring harness, all of the water pump, steering, blah, 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 blah. It's all on this little... The acetylene torch was back behind a bunch of stuff, and Pete was getting stuff out, and it was, dude, I'm one of the younger people on the loading team, and I'm 53. Harold is 80, Pete's 66, Judy's 65, I think. Sean is, 50-something, if he's 2 years, graduated after me. So, at one point, I almost fell on the truck, and then when I got off the truck, I fell and rolled, and then they were making fun of me and all that other stuff. But then at another time, I caught Harold because, dude, you're 80 years old. You guys are really pushing yourself. I know Pete wants to get this all done today. Let's do 2 days. It's safer. You know, you guys, you're not kids anymore, damn it. I shouldn't be the one yelling this. So, at one point, we were talking about stuff, and I said, how much is the torch? And Pete's, ratcheting stuff down, and he's, I don't know. So I had Pete come in, and I'm like, hey, the setup, how much is it worth? So I ended up getting that for $100.
Excellent. The torches, let alone.
Uh-oh, you're digitizing.
Oh, is that better?
The torches, and that's about all that made sense from that whole thing you said.
Okay. Say you can't torches for bucks. Tanks are $100.
You can't get banks for 100 torches? Wait, what?
Torches are more than $100 used. And tanks, very expensive.
Oh.
To buy the tanks, it's very expensive. That's why most folks will lease a tank. They'll go in, they'll pay to take it back. And that way they don't have to pay $300 or $400 per tank, depending on the size of the tank.
Pete is convinced that I'm going to blow myself up, and the only reason, because I'm between jobs right now. I didn't have $100, so Judy forked over $100 for me, and I'm like, all right, I owe you 100, which totally good for that. What do you want, cash or sweat? And blood, because I always end up bleeding on all of our adventures. Odin demands a sacrifice.
Always. One must sacrifice. You must sacrifice yourself to yourself on the great tree of the 9 realms.
So the caveat and the only reason he would allow, that he allowed Judy to fork over the money is that I had to promise to bring it to you to check it out so I don't kill myself and blow up my house. And the whole rest of the day, well, that's going to be fine until you destroy yourself. Because even Sean's like, I don't really know how to use that. I used it for, bracing. He used it for art.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not going to use it anymore. So because, it's none of my business what's going on in his life. I was just, talking about stuff. But it's filthy dirty, but that 78, yeah, that's pretty much the color scheme I want to do for the 66, with maybe a little bit of the candy like you suggested. So I have to put that into motion.
Step at a time.
Yes, step at a time. Well,
that's what I've been looking for, is a new set of torches.
Yeah. It's the same thing with that scrap 58. It's not that I don't disagree with Joe, and I agree with Guy with the stay focused and all the different things, but Joe doesn't really understand how YouTube works, and he doesn't understand why will it run? Well, why? Because people watch those. Well, why? Because people get emotionally invested in old shitty vehicles that they're like, make it start, make it start, make it. I don't know why. They're still explaining it. It's the same reason that children don't, they have teddy bears and other. I don't know.
It's become exciting to see somebody take something that was considered trash
and turn it
and make it usable.
Yes.
That's why you see some of these guys that are able to do it so well.
Yeah.
Because people, it's rooting for the underdog.
So the best.
I want to see this guy win.
Yes.
Or I want to see him fail epically.
Yes.
So it's either going to be I got it running.
Thank you.
Yay! Or I couldn't get it running, and we found out why, because when we pulled apart, we actually found out that it was
broken,
2 turns away from
seized.
becoming a window block.
Well, the oil pan is fucked. That's why. But that's why, because I found it hilarious that, because I made a sneak preview about the 58. I mean, because even Joe didn't know, what is this, a 235, a 250? Because this should be a 235, but the valve cover looks a little different.
I think the size is embossed on the head.
Probably.
I think it's embossed on the head and the block. And the guy can correct me, but because you might have taken a 230 head and put it on a 260 block to try and up your compression, which is an old hot rodder.
As the two of you have seen in the video, the cab's fucked. The door is going to be taken off and put in the pile. But this is a 70s frame with disc brakes. I really don't want him.
That cab could be used to make something. That is the beginning. That cab is the beginnings of a custom.
Of a Frankenstein.
And the reason I say that is because it's cut off. You've cut off the roof. And you've cut off the windshield frame.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that gives you the opportunity to graft a completely different windshield frame onto it, do a finish around the back of the cab.
Oh my God! Stop! Do you know how many pieces he has down there in the? Oh, we could do this.
Exactly, but you find crap doors that you can take the top off, and now you have got a convertible 50s pickup truck.
It's Pete. It's Pete.
It's ready to go.
It's Pete, as you saw because you were out there. Doors, fenders, not a problem. Bed and stuff like that, and cab. Oh, we have to negotiate because we're talking about a lot. Yeah.
And that's the big thing is, take a look at stuff like DD's Speed Shop on YouTube.
Yeah.
DD's Speed Shop, Dan has a really good time.
Yeah.
He has a really good time taking old vehicles. He loves the Tri-5s, and he started working on 50s pickups, so the Tri-5 pickups now. And what he does is he does it the way that most folks would have to do it
on a budget.
If they didn't have the money. So he's doing it, how fast can I get this in here? Here's a cheap welder. Here's some flat steel. And I'm going to show you how a hack makes a panel patch.
Yeah.
And when I put it on there, I can spray paint it with a matching color that I can pick up over at the paint shop for $12 in a spray kit. Because I just need enough to spray this with the new can and then rub it down with acetone, and it looks like the rest of the truck. So now I didn't worry about repainting the whole vehicle. He just picked up a 68 or a 69 Nova.
Really?
That he brought home. I was watching today. And the Nova, you look at the driver's side. Now, this is in Canada, where everything rusts the minute it comes off the truck. And he's showing you the driver's side. And the driver's side is pretty straight on this car. And then he takes you around to the other side. The rear quarter is completely missing because as he's explaining it, the two prior owners ago had explained that basically they were towing a trailer. Things went squirrely. Trailer decided that it wanted to occupy the same space as the car and took out the passenger side rear quarter. And somebody had already started trying to repair that quarter.
Yeah.
So he bought the car with a replacement quarter panel, with some other replacement parts and pieces. And now he was going to show you how to hack it back together. I mean, he made some of his most popular videos are taking 4-door Tri-5s and converting them into 2-door.
Yeah.
And taking Pontiac 55, 56, 57 Pontiac 2-door doors, which are not worth as much as Chevy Tri-5 Chevy doors, but they fit, grafting them in there and showing you can do this. Now, am I telling people that this is an original 2-door? No, I'm telling them this is a 2-door that I built in my garage, and you can see what it looks like. You can take it the rest of the distance if you'd like.
I have been enlightened by hanging out with Pete for over 3.5 years now, almost 4 years, really. There is not only the market for people restoring the 47 to the 54 Chevy GMC trucks. Artists buy the doors for those years, and they airbrush pictures of trucks on them with a sunset, and then they sell them for whatever this. I don't know what they sell them for, because
Well,
well, I mean, this guy came out and he bought a shit ton of doors, and Judy and Pete gave him a deal, and part of the deal was that Pete got one of the lowrider. He got a door, and it's got a black lowrider 58.
Yep.
And a tropical setup with a sunset. It's actually quite beautiful. And then Bodyman Bill's going to hit it with a clear coat. And they're going to take the forklift and they're going to weld it and hang it up on the wall. It's going to look awesome.
Yeah. And that's popular. There are guys that have that kind of space and shop. You know, it was, Guy, you may remember this. You remember the guys that used to sell car pelts? They used to skin cars.
Wow.
So they would take a wrecked, well, what they would do is they'd take a wrecked Porsche 911. Can't restore it because the tub is just destroyed. So what this guy would do is he would go out and he would cut all the body panels off.
Mm.
And he would flatten it out so that it could be hung up in some wealthy guy's garage barn as the skin of a 911. And so it's up under. So it's like taking a 911, a piece of paper, and pulling it out. Like we used to have when I was a kid. You used to get the paper models that you cut out and you folded.
Oh yeah.
Well, this was the same idea. And this guy had a whole series of these, and he made ridiculous money. You buy the Hulk. He was buying the Hulks for $1,000, $2,000. This is maybe 20 years ago, and he's selling these as art pieces for $15,000, $20,000. Of course, he's skinning them, painting them, making them look nice and presentable.
Yeah.
But you know, his time and effort and cost of materials versus what he was receiving in the end, he was making a very nice profit.
Yeah.
On what he was doing.
Guy, we're an hour and 41 minutes in, and we haven't even come near the topic that you wanted to talk about. So you should probably start now.
No, it's okay.
Are you happy?
I'm just enjoying it.
Oh.
I'm just enjoying it.
No, if you had your choice and money was no object. Guy, you just won the pick, $3.2 million. They're gonna take $1 million away, and you've got $2.8 million left. Which are you gonna buy from Pete from the recent take? The 57?
None. None.
No, what are you gonna do?
None. I wouldn't buy any of them.
You're gonna remake the Herkimer Battle Jitney from Mystery Men, aren't you? I knew it.
No, none of them.
Which would you do?
None of them. I wouldn't buy none of them.
No.
They're not my project.
No, I know, but okay. Hypothetically.
Even hypothetical, no, I wouldn't have bought them. Even hypothetically.
No.
Hmm?
Would you throw it into your Camaro?
Nope. I would do something entirely differently.
Go tell. Okay. Tell us, oh wise one. Give us the information. Sign the papers, old man. I don't want to sign the papers.
No, if you're going to do a project, you do something that something hasn't done and something be different. So I would plan on doing something entirely different. The trucks are good, but everybody did those truck projects. Everybody's done it. You're doing the same thing over and over again. So why pick up why play somebody else's save game?
Dude, that's what he has. I don't,
It's still even at that. If you look at it, somebody else's save game.
He's got a lot of those late 90s Camaros.
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of these. I don't know why you bought them, dude. Go ahead. Sorry, guy.
Oh, no, I didn't know if you were finished.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to be all snarky. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. No, go ahead and finish. I want to make sure you're done.
No, you are right. And you're right on several levels because trucks are easier. They really are. You don't have to worry about the interior and, the back seats, the back deck. There's none of that. And you're right, they've all been done, but that's... Sorry, man, that's all I've got access to right now. Like and subscribe. If we can generate some... Yeah. It is what it is.
No, it just, I just wanted to bring a point. It's just that sometimes what happens is you can follow trends and stuff, but sometimes what you got to look at is, like, you got a whole lot in Whitman of projects that started but never finished, and they're never going to be finished. Nobody has a plan on finishing them. So what happens is you have to fix other people's mistakes, and I think you haven't learned this, Bill. You don't know this yet, but that's what happens when buying a project car. You sometimes have to go and fix other people's mistakes. So sometimes what happens, it's not taking a step forward. You're taking a couple steps backwards.
No.
So sometimes what happens is you have to redo what other people done, and that becomes a detriment. So sometimes doing something new is, if I was going to win the lottery and stuff on it, you can buy a car that's already done.
You're quoting my father. And buying a car that already is done does not help with making videos. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? No, you're right.
No. But you asked the question, but you weren't prepared for the answer. You asked the wrong question.
I wasn't prepared for the answer. I was...
You were prepared for it, I'm sorry. But
okay.
If you get the money, you're going to buy a car already done, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to drive it. The question is...
Yeah, no.
The question is what you want to do. If you had unlimited money and you can build whatever car you want, then that's different. Because I would build a car. Like, for example, here, if you really want to get technical and get down into it, those Corvairs, I would buy a new Porsche, and I would strip that Porsche to put it in the Corvair to make something different.
Really?
Or I would do a Subaru. Take something totally out of somebody, nobody would do it, and do it. You know, take a good car and make something else out of it. Project car, why? Because you got money's no object at that point.
I don't know what that's
So
like.
all you're limited by time and creativity. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne style.
No.
Okay,
Scooby-based Corvairs would be fun. The Porsche-based, either the water box Porsche or the air-cooled Porsche in those would be extraordinary. Those, guy, that's absolutely correct. The only other one that would be really fun is to redo. You remember when the Porsche engineers were given a Westphalia in the 90s, and they were given carte blanche to do whatever they wanted? Bill, I don't know if you know this story. You know the Westphalia vans, the square Volkswagen vans?
Yes.
Okay. In the 90s, some of the Porsche engineers were given, and I don't know if they were given this because it was a mule and they were testing, they were really putting a hard push on one of the last of the air-cooled 6-cylinder and the gearbox. But what they did was, these crazy bastards took a box stock Westphalia and they pulled out the Volkswagen motor, and they put this high-revving mule 6-cylinder Porsche motor with this, I think it was a 5-speed or 6-speed transmission, into this Westphalia. And they were, the only reason anybody found out about it was because I think Road and Track or Car and Driver got a glimpse of it when they were testing and doing some testing on the Autobahn in Germany. And they were testing Porsches or something, a German car, a German sports car. And they were passed by a Westphalia on the, so it's a brick going Mach 5, you know. And they just, okay, we got to find out about this. They found out. And that was where the story broke, is it's all of a sudden, here's this Westphalia. When you turn the engineers loose and you give them an opportunity, they're going to take it.
Cliff has a crazy idea of cutting a Porsche and a Volkswagen in half and putting them together. And he told Pete all about it. And Pete looked at him like he was crazy. So, okay. As far as Volkswagen goes, rabbits are cute. The Bug is cute. I love the Thing. But honestly, the Karmann Ghia is pretty damn sexy. Would you put a Miata engine in a Karmann Ghia, or would you put a Porsche engine in a Karmann Ghia? And why? Go.
I would do the Porsche motor because the Karmann Ghia is a rear engine, air-cooled vehicle. the underpinnings are essentially the same between the 911 series pan in that area and the Volkswagen pan, which is what the Karmann Ghia was built on.
Mm.
So it wouldn't take as much to modify that pan, fit the 6-cylinder in there, and make for one hell of a hot runner. It's been done. I mean, there have been some of those where guys have taken the motors out of wrecked 911s, and they would have grabbed the motors out of 70s and 80s 911s and 912s. The Miata powertrain, that is a front engine water cooled, so you have to do a lot of reconstruction. And the Karmann Ghia's hood isn't really built to fit that. You could get away with a more modern Boxster motor from a Subaru, but even then you're still going to have a hard time because that's still water cooled, and that becomes more difficult. You still have to have all of that componentry. What are your thoughts on that one, Guy? I mean, the difference between them, I can't see a straight 4, but a Boxster 4 could go in there.
Yeah,
but it would be tight.
You could put a Subaru engine, a Subaru Boxster motor, but I would go one bigger because you're overlooking the light frame of that, and I would put a Hayabusa motorcycle engine in it.
There you go, a Hayabusa, a high torque, a racing Hayabusa turn 12,000 RPMs.
Yep.
And then run the Japanese race pipes out the back, so nobody can figure out what the hell it is that just went by them. Because it's going to sound like I was run by a motorcycle. There was no motorcycle that passed me.
And the low center of gravity with it, then I would modify it with brake Porsche suspension on it, so then it can handle the power with it. Light racing seats. All the gauges and stuff on it, the high revving with the tank in the back. You can air cool it, the Hayabusa, or you can water cool it, but then you would just, it'd be a little bit difficult, but not improbable with that little Volkswagen and stuff on it, with the suspension like a Porsche suspension on it, modeled after the bathtubs and the racing Porsches. Then you have a little screaming machine that comes by you, and it's going to be cheap on gas. It's just a 2-seater. Hayabusa.
Strap in. Why? Because the wings are about to come out.
Technically, it'll be a 4-wheeled motorcycle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's if I had to. If money was no object, and I could get, because Guy, Rob, and I have been talking to a longtime friend, Don Coffee in Southern California, and because it's like, I want a hot rod. All right, what do you want, dude? I've got access to all these car guys. We can find. I want this or this or this or this or this. Well, how about this one, that? No, man. I want it. He's like what you said, Guy. I want it finished. I only want to have to do a little bit of work to it. I don't want to have to weld and sand and put engines in.
He doesn't want a hot rod, then.
Well,
what he's telling me, he doesn't want a hot rod. He's not the type of person to have a hot rod. He couldn't own one.
Well, hold on. He also has a 1-year-old. And, and he's 54 years old. So it's he's really busy and a beautiful young wife.
Donnie's the kind of guy that we would see out at the Russo and Steele buying a finished car from a known shop, because that's what he wants. He wants something that he can drive, he can enjoy, minimal work, just general maintenance. He wouldn't be the guy I would put into a into a slammed, hardcore 1,000 horsepower drag and drive car.
Not that he couldn't do the work. He could do the work. No. Not that he couldn't do the work. He's very capable. He's just, dude, he's got so much else going on and a career, and he's the guy I could see buying a demon.
Yeah.
Buying a red-eye demon.
Yeah.
Because he could run it and enjoy it. And it's a weekend car, and he's gonna have fun with it, but it's not a daily driver, and that's fine.
And Donnie is
smart. It's a difference between a true car guy and a non-true car guy. And I'll give you an example. I knew a great guy named David Orchester. Had money. We knew him from Barrett Jackson.
Oh.
And he
Doesn't
got
sound
in and he
familiar.
bought himself a rat rod. This is a guy who drove Mercedes. This is a guy who drove
Yeah.
nice classic cars. And he bitched and moaned and complained of how much work, how rough it was on his back, how hard it was on kept the vehicle, how
That's
basically it was a rat
cars.
rod. It's a rat rod. He
Yep.
he liked Mercedes. He liked his comfort. He's not a car guy. He's not a car guy in the sense that he would turn a wrench. He sent his cars to be fixed, and this is a guy I knew from Bear Jackson and stuff on it. So when he got the rat rod, he just got it because he wanted the image. He wanted to look tough, but he couldn't handle driving it because it always burnt oil. It had the gas smell to him, and Rob knows what I'm talking about. It,
Yeah.
you know, it would run lean and
No,
stuff. You always had to work with carburetors. So
We
with him,
didn't-
it was a nuisance. So he later
Yeah.
went and sold it. He went and
Dude.
sold it. He wanted to be with the cool kids
Yeah.
and with the hot rodders, but he couldn't. The car was cool. He
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't his car. So he went and got the Dodge Demon. He went and got the New York Camaro, the ZL1. That was his type. He'll get the
Yeah.
Porsche where he can turn the key, drive it. But if anything goes wrong, he sends it down the road to his mechanic.
Oh,
that
no,
that type of car guy.
Oh,
The money
no.
car guy.
Donnie would have just handled it, and he wouldn't have sent it to him. Okay.
Well, Donnie,
we didn't. Yeah,
Donnie
we didn't
would
want him
do some
to.
of the work,
Yeah,
but Donnie doesn't have the time now, and that's the
Yeah.
difference. Is Donnie
it's
can
the
do
time.
a lot of the
yeah.
work, but he doesn't have the time. He's got his new growing
New one.
family,
and
because
he
he's
has
already had
grandkids.
right.
Yeah.
There's
So
the new
it's
kid
one of
and
those
the grandkids and the other kids, and he's busy.
Because what Guy's talking about is the in the Harley world, it's the
Yeah.
guys. It's the difference between the guys that buy the soft tails and the guys that go out and buy the hard tails.
by the panheads
If a guy
with
buys a
other.
hardtail, yeah, if a guy buys a hardtail, he's either going to be an old school biker and he knows how to do all the repairs and he's going to take care of his bike himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he's already got a screwed up back and he doesn't
His
mind it.
hands hurt and his feet hurt.
Right.
And,
Or he wants to be, like Guy said, he wants to be with the in crowd. And that hardtail is only going to go to the bar and might go out to when they have bike week and might go to the car show out at the Indian reservation.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because that's how it goes. Most of the guys that actually ride their bikes that are older and whatnot, they're buying the soft tails or the baggers because they want that comfort. They like the Harley. It's the same cachet, but they want the comfort.
Dude.
And they want a bike that they don't have to take to the dealer or they don't have to do as much maintenance on a regular basis. The guys that buy the panheads and the hardtails, those are the guys that when you ask them, they say, is it leaking oil? Yeah, then it still has oil.
I don't know. It would be pretty fucking awesome to have all three Coffee brothers, to have Tim, Tom, and Don on the show at the same time. And I've done it once, but it's very rare. I think we did it once. Or even have them play a one-off with us. Because Tom's kids are older. Tim, I don't know, Tim, well, he works a lot, but I don't know what he's up to besides that. And then Don would be the hardest to lock down. Be like, okay, what day do you have off and when is this coming up? When can we plan?
We
Because
could get all three of them on, and Guy, you and I could just sit back and watch. It's like watching a train wreck, man. You
they're
can't turn your eyes away.
yeah, they're awesome. Tim, Tom, and I've known the Coffee brothers since '93, and I've been to multiple weddings. Because there's Christy. There's 2 girls and 3 boys, and Don Sr., who is no longer with us, is a Vietnam vet, and he was 4 cages down from, what's his name? McCain. John McCain. And, well, Don Sr. had nothing nice to say about him. That fucking rich boy left us there. He just left us there. Whoa. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the Hanoi Hilton, a good time was not had by any.
No. But I don't want you to get this like Don Sr. worked for Caterpillar in Illinois when they were all young, like in the engineering department. They're all very smart, but I'm pretty sure Donnie's the smartest. I don't want to cause a fight because Tim is brilliant, Tom is brilliant, but yeah, hopefully you'll get to meet all three of them. Hopefully we'll have a whole thing. But yeah, anyway, cars. Drugs.
See, I had the opportunity, the one vehicle he's got out there that I really would love to have, actually, the two diamonds that he's got, the two Rios.
Yeah.
And the only thing, because I wouldn't reuse the frames, I wouldn't reuse the drivetrains, what I would really want is the bodies. Because what I would be doing is putting them on either a modern chassis, a heavy modern chassis, or build a chassis, custom chassis, and take those bodies and section them together so that I could make a longer hood, so I could put a 12 valve underneath the hood and section the body so that I could make it wider so you could actually fit two human beings in that truck and give it a slightly extended cab without making it, without adding any windows or anything. Give it a deeper cab, so you section the doors, make the doors a little longer. You'd widen the body because it's all flat glass, so it's easy to have the flat glass cut for it. Make enough space in that rig so that you could go ahead and have a good time. And I would turn it into the forge truck.
Yeah.
So it'd be perfect for the forge. And that way, the chassis are probably salvageable, but my concern is that there's so much rust in some of those chassis that I would be concerned with pulling together. In that case, if the money was unlimited, then you could have them dipped and see if it was salvageable, pull the rails apart, pull all the cross members out, take the two best set of rail, all the rest of that, and bring it back together again.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm using an old steel with iron rivets chassis, but I'm going to put something that's going to have, the motor's going to have, if I have my choice, the motor's going to be 300 to 400 horsepower and pushing 1,200 pound-feet of torque, and it'll spin that chassis in half if it decides it wants to.
Yeah.
So it'd be better off to build a full box chassis for it so that I could use it and then put, and I'm a crazy bastard, I would go looking for a set of Dana 110s for the rear and get a Dana 80 built for a front axle and use it as a four-wheel drive forge truck where I could easily haul 1.5 tons of materials and whatever else I wanted to, and might even paint it or leave some of the patina there and just let it look like it should. You know, a nice interior without being ridiculous. Maybe some of that oiled duck canvas for the seat, for the upholstery inside, and flat glass. And then, of course, I'd have to have a crazy stereo so I could drive the young kids nuts.
Well, I mean, that was one of the questions on the job interview I was at last Friday. Like, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you do? And I know I kind of scared her for this first second because, oh my God, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing now. I want to restore all the cars I can get my hands on, do blacksmithing, do ceramics, do whatever comes next, keep playing video games, keep playing D&D and board games, and this is... After my third divorce, I got a bunch of old heaps, and now I'm going to restore them. Those are the ladies now. I've traded tits for tires, and I'm a lot happier in the long run, I'm telling you. You get sad now and again, but you have to stay focused. So there you go.
It's a lot more nipples on brand new tires.
Nipples are great and all. But, it's a... I can't wait to film it. And I got a glimpse of it, and he started talking about it, but we had to leave. In Harold's garage is a white with red striping and a white and red interior 1955 truck that is the best vehicle he has. This thing's cherry. It's gorgeous. And it's got like a dark walnut bed, a wood bed. I'll get video of it tomorrow because he's bound to take me in there again. But you know, I don't know. If money was no object, there is a list of cars that I would buy. And honestly, to go back to the other, I don't know, do you guys remember what number it was? This is episode 35. Like and subscribe.
We talked about dream cars.
Yeah.
What's the bucket list?
Our bucket list for the top 10.
Yeah. See, my thing is, I don't know that I would want to buy a whole bunch of cars because when I think about it, I can't drive more than one car at a time.
No, but if you had $40 million, you'd have plenty of space to store them.
Yeah, but I don't want to store. I look at cars at some of these. I look at cars at some of these museums, and I think that's a really sad circumstance to see an original Judge that's never going to be on the road again, that's never going to get the opportunity to do what it was built for, and nobody's going to have the same pleasure of sitting behind the wheel and shifting through the gears and taking that thing down the road. And you don't have the same opportunity. Think about it this way. How much fun would it have been in 1972 to have an original Judge on the Beeline Highway?
Fair enough. Or the
row through the gears.
66.
You're not going to have as much opportunity to do that. I look at that, and you have to remember. I mean, you've seen my workshop,
yeah,
and all my tools that I have in there. People say, "How come you have all these old tools?" Because I use them. The reason they're here is because if I don't use it, there's no point for me to have it. It needs to go to somebody who can use it. It's kind of wasted without that.
Ouch.
That's my thing. So that's why I look at stuff and I just kind of stop. I used to build firearms. So I had 2 great big safes full of all these firearms that I had built, restored, done all these things with. And I got to a point where I looked in that safe, in both safes, and I thought to myself, I haven't fired any of these since I built some of them years. What good are they doing? I've got a list of things. I have this, but it doesn't serve a purpose in that. It's not being used for what it was intended. It's no longer getting the value from it that I built it for. And I started selling that stuff off. Do I regret not having them? Sometimes. But again, I had 3 M14 rifles. I had built FNFAL battle rifles to be as accurate as I could. I had built, people call them sniper rifles. I would never call them that because I did not build that level of product, but I built some really nice pieces, but I never used them. I ended up putting them in the hands of people that enjoyed them, that used them.
Yeah.
And that was where they were meant to be. Yeah.
I agree with you, Rob. I totally agree. Like, to answer your question, Bill, and stuff on it, why I was so evasive with it, but I don't think you would understand. Rob's going to get this as soon as I say it. He's going to understand that. This might go over your head a little bit. I would become like Ring Brothers. If you understand what Ring Brothers is, you take cars, you repurpose them, you build them. I would take cars. I would take, like, for example, just like an idea. I would take Opel GT. Then I would go overseas to look for the newer counterpart, another Opel. I would take the dual overhead cam, the Ecotech engine, the drivetrain of it, and convert it over to that Opel GT, 71, 72, 69, to that body style. Modernize it, wide body it, and do like a Ring Brothers. I'll come up with some name, put it out there, use some Corvette interior gauges and stuff on it, because everybody confuses it as a smaller Corvette. Put the L80 hood on it, but it's got the Ecotech, it's got a turbo in it, it's got the nice exhaust, nice modern wheels and stuff on it. Then I would take it, auction off and sell it, rinse and repeat. Find another car, do that Corvair, do something else. Take something that nobody's thrown away and put it with something else and bring it new so people go look at it and go, oh, there's so many cars people haven't done anything with or don't look at it. and I would take the ugliest thing you would think of, and I would go, let's relook at it. Let's put my eyes on it. Let's convert it over.
Yes, this
So
was...
that way,
Go ahead. Sorry.
it always happens. It perpetuates. And I'm not doing the same thing over and over again as everybody else is. And secondly, I'm putting junk back into the market that people will like, enjoy, and want.
Yeah. Dude, I don't... If I won the Powerball, it's... What is it at? Like 605 million? It's really high right now. I bought 2 tickets because gambling is fun, but until that point where you're like, wait a minute, I can win a lot of money, then gambling is, dude, stop. Go walk away from the table. So, if money is no object, and you have hundreds of million, I would just make videos taking $200 cars from the 30s to probably the 70s, and just like exactly what you said, guy. Turning trash into gold.
Yep. Well, it's like there's the guy, the electric classic cars out of, where is he? He's in the Welsh countryside, I think, in England or Yorkshire.
Oh, yeah?
And he takes classic cars and he refits them with full electric drivetrain.
Huh.
Some of the first cars he did, he built some early Volkswagen Bug kits. He has gotten folks, I mean, he's got a regular clientele that show up with old classic, like old Ferraris, and he just did a Mercedes 190.
Really?
And he's been taking a lot of these classic cars that people purchased, and either they, for whatever reason, the vehicle itself, the drivetrain is bad, there's a problem, or however they do it. And he completely refits them and restores them, but he puts a full electric drivetrain in these cars. And I think that's an incredible thing. And looking at some of the work that he's done, he keeps all of the original gauges, all of the componentry, so that when somebody looks at the car, if you come by and you even look at it, sit down in it, until you start it, you wouldn't know that this was an electric car. And I think that's a really cool thing. Like what Guy was saying, you take these cars and you restore them, you bring them back, you make them something that can be used again. Because for us, the building is as much fun as anything else. If I get to build it, then I get to be the first one to drive it. And get it then I've done everything that I want to do, and I turn it over to the next. You go ahead and drive the wheels off.
What I find interesting... Oh, go ahead, Guy. I'm sorry. I mean,
like I was saying, and these are some good ideas, and if anybody comes up with them, feel free to use them, because I may not see to fruition, but the idea is there. It's like I would take a 1983 Z28, and I would put a Maserati engine in it.
Really?
I would put a Maserati engine, because a Maserati engine is just like a Ferrari engine, and I would convert that over just by a little sculpting of the body and stuff. Keeping with the Z, but to make it look like a classic 3 GTO Ferrari. And it's a Z28. Nobody cares about them. A dime a dozen are going up on it. Something that's totally torn apart. But yet you do the body work. You put on the chrome bumpers, but you put on the bumpers of the early 60s and stuff. Slightly modify it and make it look like a little Ferrari. But not using any of the telltales. Yes, it's kind of a hybrid. And you put that on the market. And when people pop that hood, and you do the 2+2 because it's got the frame length to hold the Maserati engine in it, and people be like, "Well, that's neat. Nobody ever done that before."
Here's what I've noticed: all of the gearheads across the board. It doesn't matter Ford, Chevy, Pontiac, Dodge, Chrysler, Studebaker, Edsel. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Do you? To wait till Rob gets back. It's older than us, but Disney put out a car cartoon about a little blue sedan. Do you remember this? And when she's new, she's fast. And then she gets older, and then this seedy guy owns her, and she's in the back alleys, but then she's in the junkyard, and she's with all the other cars that are in the junkyard. and then later a teenager finds her and rebuilds her into a hot rod. Susie, I think her name is, the car. I'll have to find it and post it on the council thing. Ben, my point to this diatribe is money is a huge factor and always a situation. But the personal needle of passion is what gets the car done. Your level of passion either has you do as much as you can or succumb to money and sell it to a friend or a stranger.
Well, also too, but that's a misnomer. That cartoon's kind of a lie in a way, with the car culture and the car is that it's knowledge, because you're looking at it through the car's lens, not the kid's lens.
No.
The kid had the knowledge to repair the car. The kid had the thing to know what the car's worth.
The old fat guy didn't. Yeah.
The old fat guy didn't. So what happens is, it's this is what people don't understand. When you introduce money into the car world, you get the people I'm dreadfully against. These are people that take cars that are perfectly fine and numbers matching, perfectly restored, and they tear them apart for no reason.
Well,
they would be like what Rob was talking. They'll take that GTO out of the... Here, I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example. And this happened. We've seen the car. I know the history of the car. And now I'm like, oh man, I can't believe they did it. Okay. Tim Allen owns a 1970 GTO Ram Air 4 that he got.
Really?
We know the history of that car. We've seen it go through auction and stuff on it. It's a beautifully ran, a rare car and stuff itself. Very powerful, made for quarter mile. Okay. He took it and he modified it to his liking. Well, this is what money has. He could have took a Le Mans.
Yeah, dude, leave that.
Hold on.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but this is where it goes wrong. This is where people see it wrong. And he modified it and did it, but he took the originality of that car that was original from there, and he destroyed it. Now he made it like any other car, where he could have took something that was mediocre and made it good.
Yeah.
So it would be like if I took a brand new numbers matching everything Opel GT, and I said I'm going to take it and cut it up because there's no money's no expense. Well, that's asinine. Why take something? It's like taking the Mona Lisa and going, I don't like the painting, but I'm going to use that canvas and I'm going to paint something else on it. You leave it alone. You get a brand new canvas or somebody that don't care on it, and you can paint over it. So I would take something that was destroyed, like, again, that car in that junkyard. Everybody discarded it. I look at what it is. It has no value. Nothing's original anymore. I could do whatever I want with it because I'm not ruining anything that's original. But I'm not going to take an original car and I'm going to gut it like a chicken to fix it up. And a lot of people with money do that.
Yeah.
They take nice cars and they gut them because it didn't suit their needs. It's like my friend Dave, like I was telling you about. He's of that mentality. Well, I can make it this, I can make it this. Not realizing that the trick with the older cars, the muscle cars, is that's what made the character of it. That made the beauty of it. You didn't have power steering. You had drum brakes.
Yeah.
It didn't always run right. You had to go underneath the hood. That's the character of the car. And you wanted to drive it and act like a new Mercedes? Why buy the car then?
Yeah. Well,
why didn't you help that? It has all the convenience.
I love both my panel trucks, but it comes down to what Rob said. I mean, how many cars do you need? I have too many as it is. I'm going to have to sell a bunch of them.
Yeah, you have to get rid of them. You can't keep them all.
No, I got to sell the 46. I got to sell the 4-door 47. But that, I kept looking at it and I'm like, can't really turn this into a Mad Max car for the, it's not Burning Man, Wasteland Warriors. Not affiliated with them. We're just giving them a shout out. So
it's like the guy you were working with, and he told you to stay on project and why do all that work.
Joe.
I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example why he said that. in what he did on it because he didn't see the value in it. It's like, remember that when you were sanding your 47 and you're taking the paint off and you're primering doing on it. Okay.
Yeah, I've been lectured about that all the time.
Yeah, why are you sanding it?
I wanted to see just how clean the body was, and it is.
Okay. But why are you sanding in to do that?
All right, you don't need to lecture me live when we're streaming an episode and everything, but you're right. I should have left the factory primer on there. That was, but in the long run.
But it's a learning process. That's all I'm saying. It's a learning process.
Yeah.
But he doesn't see it that way. So what it is you had to learn it. So you did it, and it's the best way to see the metal. Right, wrong, or different. You got the work done. You got the experience done.
Yeah. No. Well, Joe is a Vietnam vet. Joe, you're the Ford expert. I don't know anything about Fords. That is bullshit. You've got like 5 of them.
Yeah.
So Joe went. No, I started messing with. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm like, this is for fun. It's a will it run. And then you saw by the second video. That's like the 4th time. He's like, why are you? Joe is a great guy. I'm not bashing him. I don't want to, I don't want to start a thing. But he doesn't. You can hear in the video, he's like, why aren't you promoting Pete? I have been promoting Pete for 3 fucking years. Okay. Because Joe is like Harold and Joe are like the Vietnam vet era. They, Joe's a Vietnam vet, but Harold did not. He didn't. His hearing kept him out of having to enlist or be drafted. He was drafted, and then they were like, "Oh no, go home." But you're good. Go back to work. But Joe, it's just like that video where both of the videos where in the beginning and a lot of them are like that, Pete included, and. Why are you doing that? You're wasting your time. Give me this. You don't know what you're doing. Get out of the way. I'm like, here, let me try. No.
I noticed
Joe did all 6 cylinders.
But he was referring to the cab when you said take the cab off the truck. Because he really didn't say it about the engine, about turning the engine over. He just saying that taking the cab off the truck was kind of a waste. Why do it now? Because you went off and said about taking the cab. But then, he doesn't look at it that way. He looked. Yeah.
Why do you want to take the cab off? Dude, that was
Why do you want to take the cab off?
But since you react as that, let's go.
Oh my God.
These guys are also used to restoring.
Yeah.
So Pete looks at something, and he's looking at the restoration value.
Yeah,
so
Pete wants to just sell it.
Clean is worth money.
Sell it.
Right.
Pete doesn't give a shit.
That cab, he looks at that cab, and he says, nobody wants to buy that cab because it's not complete. I don't have the roof. I don't have all this other stuff. But somebody else comes by. If you were to finish off the back to make it a convertible, and you were to put in any kind of a windscreen assembly, if you put in a windscreen off of the square body, and you could set a windshield into that frame from a square body, and you put that out there and say, okay, here's this cab, it's ready for somebody to take to make a convertible custom truck. There's going to be guys that are going to show up and they're going to go, oh shit, I want that.
We could build that like that. Here's what I was thinking. What are you going to do with that? That's garbage. I'm scrapping it. Are you sure? It's junk. I don't want that junk in my yard. I want that junk out of my yard. It's a modern frame and a more modern chassis. It's a 70s, whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's from. I want it out of my yard. I'm going to do, and it's right next to the scrap trailer. I don't know if you noticed that, but, well, let me do a Will It Run. Do you think people will watch that? Pete, we just went to Tempe, and I made 2 videos in one day. One in the afternoon where the 78, the back wheel wouldn't think, and then the other one where I was leaving. 750 people looked at one of those videos. Really? Yeah, dude. This is why you need to get on YouTube. So I have been on him relentlessly. And Judy made a page, and we even made a couple videos. And I'm like, dude, I made a under 2-minute video talking to your dogs about where's the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? 850 people looked at that. Really? Really? You love Fab Rats, but you don't want to take the time to make a video. So you can, pardon me. You can hear it in my 2 videos with Joe, where Joe is, like you said, and, you know, I don't want to, Joe's great. I don't want to start a fight with Joe. Joe's awesome. I don't have any problems with Joe. I love working with Joe. As you saw, Joe is in my most successful short video where we get that V8 flathead running. Over 12,000 people looked at that. Team Joe. So you can hear Pete making videos in the background while we're messing with the 6-cylinder from the 58. Here's my plan. I like your idea about that cab, but there's plenty of frames out there. I really want to get the 54 to be our mascot truck, if that's okay with you guys. The one that I'm fixing the fenders in my backyard now. But that 235, that's hosed. I cleaned it all up. Totally didn't get plastic on time and on it. I got to clean it all up again. It's all rusted now because of the monsoon. But as much as I want to keep it original, if this engine, did you watch the video? Each one of those spark plugs, there wasn't any rust on them. There wasn't any. It's missing a starter. I've got one in the backyard. I'll go have it cleaned up.
Yeah, if you can turn it by hand, that thing can fire up. That's all. So that engine was there. You can actually do a lot with, you know. And the frame, depending on whose it is, you can do a lot with. So, you can make a lot of videos. It's just you have to plan it out right. So that whole engine, that whole chassis, you could get that thing up and running and run it around. The cab that's on there, I mean, you could do a lot with it. Like Rob said, you could do a lot with it. But the engine, the only reason I was saying about that engine is that if they're not doing anything with that engine, you can make a video of taking that out and putting it in your 47 and getting your 47 sedan delivery running.
Ooh, you would put a Chevy in a Ford? God, that's blasphemy.
It gets it up and running, and just that fact, doing it, people would be like, what?
Yeah.
And you got a running engine, you got it in there, and you put it in there, and it's hot rodding. You make what's due, and you got something running around there. Because what happens is it leads to a goal. Yeah. So even though it's a Chevy, who cares? You know, it's not numbers matching. It's not correct, but you're making it work. That's the essence of hot rodding. Then you will get people going, well, it works. It goes good. So what happens is...
It's funny, too. No, it's funny you say that, because when I was a teenager, my father was a purist. But by the time I was an adult, who cares? It's got a different engine in it. So now it's like, well, I don't really, okay. It's the same thing
with the shop. Yeah. You've seen what I do in the shop. What's the one thing that everybody, I hear the most, and Guy, I'm sure you've heard this, people will sit there and I'll look at something and say, oh, hey, that would look really cool on my truck, or that would look really cool on that car, or that would look, well, it doesn't fit that. What do you mean it doesn't fit that? It doesn't fit that. It wasn't made for that. I have a welder. I have drills. I have all of my equipment. What makes you think it doesn't fit?
Yeah.
Let me show you how it fits.
I would, if money is no object and we're just going to restore vehicles, I really want a 67 or a 68 Cougar. We'll put whatever engine in there. I have my eye on a 37 Packard 4-door with suicide doors that I would love to grab and just restore, just to get it back on the road. I don't have $2,000 though, so that's where but it's no engine, no transmission, no interior. It's literally just anyway. But there's a lot of vehicles that I would just put back on the road just to put back on the road. Like if money's no object, I'm going up to Pete and going, okay, both Diamond T's, the 37 and the 35 Chevy Coupe, because it's not all trucks there, and I would buy a lot of the stuff that's there and it's available. And honestly, I would give Joe the $8 or $9 grand he wants for the cab over that's out there, because it's just got you could do so much with it. You could do anything you want with a cab over.
Pete's lot,
Yeah.
is if that was a circumstance, if I had that kind of wherewithal, Pete's lot would be the place I would have an open account with O'Reilly, and I would just be going through that lot, and okay, you said the Packard doesn't have a drivetrain in it, but how many drivetrains are sitting out there? A Packard with a flathead V8 would be a hoot and a half.
The Packard's in McGuireville. It's not in Pete's yard.
Well, I understand. But what I'm saying is, you're walking around. You've got that is the ultimate junkyard crawl, because you start going through and you're going, oh, okay, well, this one's got a blown motor. All right, well, that motor can go into the scrap pile. Well, I'm going to turn that motor into a piece of object d'art, put a glass on top of it. Somebody's going to give me $1,000 for an end table.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take one of these other motors, and I'm going to drop it in there. And I'm going to call O'Reilly's and say, I need this, and this, and have your driver bring it out, and we're going to get that one running.
Well,
and
I mean, I would
that's the field day.
Remember, Pete, sorry. In the yard, there's that Laser, the minivan, the Astro, Joe. The Laser, the cab over, the Laser, the Astro minivan, and the Reliant all belong to Joe, and he wanted to swap out the transmission in the Reliant to put in the minivan.
Oh yeah, you wanted to do take the transmission in from the Laser into the minivan. I would spend the money on the Laser, but
well, the Laser is its own thing, but the Reliant one was bought. And he's told me a bunch of times. He bought the Reliant for the transmission to put in the Astro van.
You mean the Caravan, the Dodge Caravan?
Is it a Dodge Caravan?
It has to be.
Oh, yeah.
The
He's got a
minivan.
car that he wants to put the transmission
In the minivan. In the minivan. I'm sorry, Guy. I don't. You're the.
Well, it confused me there for a second. I'm like, how can you do? Because I went.
Joe's got a bunch of vehicles out there. So does Dave. So does Harold. So does Dave Jackson. So does the other Dave. So does Bill. So there. Even me. I got like 8 vehicles out there. But if you could swoop in with money, the minivan to me would be a humanitarian project. And I would fucking totally redo it and then find some struggling single mom and sell it to her for like $500. Yeah, we're going to put $30,000 into it. But it's going to totally save her. Some mom that's got like 2 or 3 kids and she's working like 2 jobs and like really like, she's not an asshole. She's like a good person. They're out there. Because other than that, why do a minivan?
Well, if you were gonna, again, if it was a junkyard crawl, and I had a minivan, I had my opportunity, then I remember the days of the old wheel standers. And so that used to be drag racing. And so what you would do is, guys, switch the motor midway mounted.
What are we doing?
Come on.
There's dog barking.
Thank you. You would put the motor in the vehicle mid-mount, because what you're doing is you're moving all the weight shift back. So when you hit that thing, you put a big block Chrysler motor in a Chrysler minivan.
Oh, okay.
You go find an Elephant motor. You buy an Elephant motor, and it has a 2-inch drive shaft, and all the weight is in the back. So when you hit it, that thing just stands up on its rear wheels and goes the distance down the drag strip. That was a big deal back in the 60s and the 70s.
That's awesome. But that's not going to help a single mom.
No, but that's the whole thing. Like I said, if you're saying what's the other purpose of a minivan, I would bring back the wheel standers, because that was the intent. They had Econo lines. They had the A100 from Dodge. And they built them for that purpose. That was the Corvair vans. When they would blow up the Corvair motors, they would put big block Chevys in them, and they would race these things. And that was what got butts in the seat in the early days of drag racing, because they weren't necessarily competitive, but everybody wanted to see them in between seeing the rails run.
And we talked to... Oh, go ahead, Guy.
I would take exactly what you gave me a good idea, Bill. I would take that minivan, but I would do what Rob was saying, but I put a bigger twist. It wouldn't be a dragster. I would take Eagle Talon, a Mitsubishi Eclipse. They're similar Chrysler programs. All-wheel drive turbo.
Really?
Make that like a Trackhawk, modern van, and give it to a struggling mother. Because then you got something with horsepower, something that's nice, something that's got a horsepower train.
Air conditioning. Air conditioning is a big deal in Arizona. You know, rest of the country, it doesn't really fucking matter. Arizona, look, why do you don't know? I have had cars since, what? How old are we now? 1985? No. 87? 15 and 7 months is when you got your permit. And I bought the Lizard. Remember the 1973 Mercury Montego 4-door? Forest green inside and out. It was awesome. It had a Windsor in it, a 351 Windsor.
Yeah, it would go. It could go. It could move.
You could build a lot of nice single mother cars or help family cars. But what you could do with that is a lot of the cars out there, you know, you could go anywhere and pick up any vehicle, and then do what's the most popular motor drivetrain transplant that you can do. Take the current LS motors, because they're relatively inexpensive. They're incredibly fuel efficient for what they are. You can take a small displacement LS, even the V6 model of the LS, put that drivetrain into an old classic car. The old classic car now doesn't have emissions or anything else in the state of Arizona because of the age of the vehicle. But you have all the modern drivetrain, and if you built it out nice, you've done all the extra work to it, you just gave them this beautiful classic showpiece car that they can enjoy without having to worry about it. The insurance would be reasonable on it for them, but they've got this modern drivetrain that can be serviced anywhere, and all of the parts are readily available at any facility. They can walk into an O'Reilly's and guys, I don't have parts for that 1958 Packard. No, but you do have parts for the LS that's sitting inside of it. Drivetrain. Oh, okay, yeah. I got the parts for that. I can keep you running.
I fucking hate money because I don't. Dude, I'm Adam Sandler at the fucking Oscars. I'm not. Guy can attest. I'm not Flash. I never wear gold or silver or jewelry. I'm so. I'm not humbled, obviously, because I'm an egomaniac. But humility is the quest. But it just. I would spend disgusting amounts of money on cars just to get them back on the road because my father. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
I was going to say, think about the business you could do.
Well, yeah.
In that case,
I didn't want to make a dramatic pause, but that's what happened.
you open a business, and this is what you're going to do. So what you do is you start grabbing, hey, there's these kids that have been doing a pretty good thing at the high school. They know how to do it. Well, kids want a job? Come here. Yeah. I'm going to give you the opportunity. And I've got some old timers who I'm paying with the express requirement that they're going to teach these kids the skill. I might even bring in the single mother or the family that's having difficulty and say, you know what? I want you to come down on Saturday and help us do some things, because this is your car. Yeah. I want you to see it, know it, and feel it. And it's yours.
That's the problem with Pimp My Ride, where Pimp My Ride's like really cool in the concept of it, but dude, these are normal people. This is not what they need for every day. This is you should be selling this to like, hey, actor, hey, rock star, hey, supermodel. You know, that should be the focus of saving, spending, what's an outlandish price for
well, they did that
set
shit
of
with
4 rims?
overhauling.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, they did that for overhauling, and they were doing Stars cars and silver, and everybody went, oh, you're doing it for Star, nobody gets to enjoy it. So there was kind of backlash for it. So that's why I think Pimp My Ride went the other way with it, because it kind of got backlash from overhauling, because they were doing Star cars, but they were spending $200,000 to $300,000 on a car, on these cars, making them all nice, doing all this stuff, custom work. But a Star didn't need that car.
See, I love Pimp My Ride, and what's the Tex-Mex one that's on? There's 2 restoration shows on Netflix, and Rust Brothers, the one up in Canada, is the one I watch the most. But there's another one that's pretty good that they do. But for the most part, it's weird. It's weird to be one of those old people that complained all the time now. Looking back, when we were in high school, you saw cars from the 50s. You saw the 60s. You saw the 70s. Dude, they were around. They were being driven. They were all over the place. Not everybody had a brand new 1982 Honda Civic. And back then, what was it? The Civic looked like a bug, almost. Ray Grace had one, a white one. And then Rob Bell, his buddy, came and put this thief magnet on it. It was awesome. Anyway, but it's weird now that it's 2025 and the 66 is covered in rust and primer, and here I'm out driving around at 3 a.m. and awesome truck. Thank you. Oh my God.
Think about it this way, Bill. Remember when we were young, and you would see the cars from the 30s and the 40s driving.
Oh my
and you'd
God,
look at it and say,
you're
oh,
right.
that's cool. That is so cool. But that car was that old. That car was Granddad's car.
Yeah.
So that was where that came. Now, these folks that are looking at these, the younger folks that are looking at these are looking at it and they're going, hey, that's really cool, because there's fewer of them. There's not as many. They don't do the same thing when they see a 2000 Ford F100. They don't do the same thing when they see a Toyota Corolla cruising around, because they're used to seeing those. That's a used car. That doesn't have the same value. So when we were kids, a 66 Chevy was a beater.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a beater. I saw them up at the ranch as often as I ever saw them in town, and they were just starting to find guys that were customizing them a little,
Actually, if you were to go with that, and what I would do, like money, not an object and so forth, is I would go with shops, but not tell the owners, and look for cars that people don't have the money to fix. Regular cars. These are, what happens is, people will get a car. People going to high school, college, families just starting will get a car. Something will happen. They can't afford to fix it. So they wind up scrapping the car and getting in a debt and buy another car. Take it, fix it, upgrade it. Just give them the car back to it. So many cars go to the junkyard because people can't afford to fix them. It's not that they can't be fixed. They just can't afford to fix them. So a lot of cars get scrapped because of that reason. So cars that we know and loved. Well, these people love these cars. They just can't afford them, so they have to scrap them and get the funds and stuff and buy something else. So if I had money was not an object, I would go to a certain mechanic's dealership and have a deal with them. Okay, if somebody's having trouble, can't fix them, okay, we got to do this to it. This is a problem with this transmission. Let's upgrade the transmission so it's never a problem again. Let's do this here, right here. Fix their little problems. Boom. Give it back to them. There you go. You can have many years with this car. You don't have to have a car payment. It serves the purposes. We addressed all the major issues. We're not going to paint it or nothing, but we're going to make it sure it's secure. Go ahead, go to the bathroom. And that's what I would do. I wouldn't make a show of it, but I would do it for people. Just kind of like a Secret Santa. Boom. There you go.
Exactly. That's a great idea. And there are some shops that do that, and I've seen them. I've known some shop owners that do that when they can, but not everybody can afford this. Oh well, oh you blew up your transmission. Unfortunately, it's $3,000. I understand. And I've seen some shops that are like, you know what? Let me see what I can do. I'll give you a call next week. And they'll go to the scrapyard and they'll find another one, test out the tranny, see what they can do. I got you another transmission. If you can give me $100, it's installed. You're out of here. Don't tell anybody I did that.
Yeah, it's the same sentiment. It's people scrap cars because sometimes it's not like they hate the car and don't want it. They want the car, they just can't afford to keep it anymore. So a lot of cars go to the junkyard just for that reason. Something went out with it, they can't afford to fix it. And if you fixed it, those people will still be using it, until the next thing that breaks. But if you address all the issues as you go along, that car could be good for another 5 to 10 years of service before it gets to the point where it can't be fixed or there's no parts available. So a lot of cars can be saved. A lot of cars are saved, but it just that you got to get. If money's not an object, why not? I would throw money for that, and I would help out. The only caveat would be people that really want their cars and will take care of them, because there's no point in doing a car to an owner that's very neglectful. Right. Because the car's going to be right back to where it is. But if it's a family, the guy needs to go back and forth to work, and this is going to put him out of a job. Hell yeah, okay, we're going to do this, but we'll address the problem. Well, okay, I understand you have this, but we're going to do this instead. It's like going back to what Bill was saying. I would take that Caravan, the Dodge Caravan, make it all-wheel drive. Not because I make a turbo, not because I'm going to make a race car out of it. I'm making it perform and stop better, because now it'll have all-wheel disc brakes. It's going to handle better for that mom. So I'm eliminating future problems by addressing them right now. Then I would make it look like a regular one so it doesn't get stolen, put an alarm in it, and give it back to her, or give it back to someone, and have them enjoy it. They'll have a little turbo with it. It'll be nice, efficient, good on gas, all-wheel disc brakes on it, independent suspension on it. It'll handle like a sports car, but it's a minivan. Yeah. So, and I wouldn't be like spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. I would just put the money where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And get the best benefit and result for it.
You know where this comes from? This comes from being blue collar and working with multiple people in multiple different, whether it was a call center or a restaurant or retail or whatever. All too often, the struggling mom has to, and you know what I'm talking about. You two have been down there for the last 3 decades. You go south of Cactus, down Cave Creek Road, all the way to 7th Street, and there's all those little mom and pop car sales. And these single moms have no other choice but to buy a 20-year-old car for $8,000, and the thing has 170,000 miles on it. And a cavalcade of problems.
And the shop has stuck it together with chewing gum and baling wire and polished it up to get it out the door, as opposed to taking the time to put the energy.
Because you're right. You're exactly right. And Guy said, you said it before, and you said, "Oh, you don't understand with other people." No, my father from the beginning, from 14 years old, you don't know what they did to that engine. You don't know what they did to that car. Dad, it's got Power Glide. You can get out and run faster than Power Glide. So he was very. You always forget that, dude. As much as I am, or as Pete's always said, you're gonna do that? Yeah, heart of gold. It's gonna get you in trouble, dude. My heart of gold has been getting me in trouble all my fucking life. The problem is that I had a realist for a dad going, "Here's why this is a bad idea." Do you think so? Let me give you an example of why it's happening, why it's going to happen. Because I watched it happen to a friend of mine. And then he would tell me the story, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, don't buy that car. So, I'm aware that, but, dude, that's a Santa Claus mission. Taking that Caravan, throwing, 30 or 40 grand into it? And then
not even. That's the beauty about it, is you're taking something that's existing, and you put it together, so it wouldn't be 30 or 40 grand. It'd be about maybe 10. And 10,000 for a new car is a drop in the bucket. But the benefit versus the cost outweighs it because it is bolt-in. There's a little bit modification, but you're upgrading problems that can come up later because you're eliminating things like, because that's a front-wheel drive Caravan. It has drum brakes in the back. There's going to be lifting on the front of it. So she's going to have weight in it. So what you're doing is you're just eliminating a problem later and redoing the suspension that you're going to get out of a secondary car anyway. And you just put new bushings and stuff in it. So
no, dude, this is why I love you.
Yeah.
This is the best. The best thing you can do is educate the public.
Okay. Because what happens is throwing money at it, a problem is not just throwing money at a problem, it's throwing at it wisely. So what happens is you can accomplish a lot of things with little money, just putting it in the right place. So this is like what your dad, and this is what I learned from my dad, your dad, and stuff, is you can rebuild something. But if you're going to do it, why not make it better while you're rebuilding it? And it adds that little bit of fortitude, and that allows it to live longer while you're there. So it's like where you see mechanics. If you're there and you're going to need to repair the alternator, put the belts, put the pulleys, put everything else that completes the job.
Your dad and my dad. Oh my God, your father and my father. Well, we've got this apart. We might as well do it.
Yeah. So if you're fixing the Caravan and putting the engine in it, and he's putting the transmission out of that, well, you put the one with there, you put the turbo on it, it's already out. It's going to be easier for it. It's less in labor, and you get to address all the issues right there at one time. It makes it simple.
If I won the lottery, I literally would buy all of Joe's vehicles for ridiculous reasons. And the most ridiculous reason would be to do exactly what you're saying, Guy, is to completely make the minivan, and I would buy Julio's minivan and give it to my neighbor has his minivan. It's much more modern, and it works very well. But it's for sale. But that, and I would give it to a single mom or a single dad who's just having a rough time. They're not hard to find.
No?
Just ask your friends and coworkers. And other than that, the Reliant, I literally would restore that if we were going to do like an 80s cop movie or an 80s because I'm like, yeah, Pete, we got to restore that in case somebody wants to make an 80s. Are we going to do what Hammer, Sledgehammer, or what was the other one? Works for me. Stop fighting with your brother.
And the thing is, what happens is a lot of people think you have to spend a whole lot of money to do it. Well, that's what people want, everything perfect.
No.
The Reliant's not going to be perfect. You just have to make it where it's physically working and physically in good shape.
And
the body doesn't have to be perfect, but it just has to be good.
He's got 4 or 5 Camaros out there and 4 or 5 Blazers out there in varying states of. I literally would buy all of those off Pete, and I would, 3 of the Camaros that are late 90s, I would just leave them as is and just try to sell them. But there's a couple that are in really interesting condition, and I would turn those into Wasteland Warriors. I would turn all of the Blazers into Wasteland Warriors. But, dude, this would be affordable. Like, you give me $4,000, and now you can pretend you're part of the humongous. Oh, just give us the petrol, Because I've decided that I'm wasting my time trying to put the 49 Flathead 6 inside the 1946. Because I'm trying to put a truck engine into a. I'm just going to take the firewall off the 47 four-door sedan, put it on the chassis, slap that 6-cylinder up there, and make a steampunk car out of the 1946 four-door sedan. Then it doesn't fucking matter, dude. What do you want to do? We could just go crazy artistically with making the fenders. We could put whatever interior in there. There's plenty of them lying around out there. Take your pick. Square bodies are hot right now. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're in demand right now. They're really on demand.
There's 4 of them out there at the ranch. One has a seized engine. One, I'm not sure what's wrong with that one.
Any of them short beds, or any of them 4x4?
Yeah, 2 of them are short beds. One's lowered. The 2 that he just bought. They're all patina. Pete's crazy for patina. It's so hypocritical of me to be like a steampunk artist, but as far as automobiles are concerned, patina. Put a paint job on that. All I can hear is my father. That's lazy. Some lazy bastard bought that car and never painted it. He haunts my dreams. I talk to him all the
That's when
time.
you get the faux Tina. The guys that take a car and
that's me.
Tina. And that is an interesting
Whoa.
that's an interesting pathway because there's a lot of actual customizing and painting technique
Yeah.
that goes into doing that fake patina on some of these cars. I've seen some really impressive airbrush work and things like that.
Well, hold on.
What you end up with.
I was ready to scrap the 47 Ford 4-door sedan with suicide doors. And then when Cliff, Reverend Fishcracker, saw it, he's like, oh my God, no. We need to turn this. Apparently there's a shop in Nevada that turns normal cars into high-end luxury limousines. Yeah, that's what Cliff wanted to do.
Wow.
Dude, this is a great idea, but that would be fantastically expensive. But we could turn it into a steampunk car and sell it with a flathead 6 in it. The body's clean. They bought the 47 4-door because they needed a floor for the 48 coupe and a firewall for the 48 coupe. And then I found out you can just make one. You don't have to get one from another car. Really? So now all the...
Actually, Bill, if you can get good with an English wheel,
Yes?
sheet, copper, English wheel, your fenders,
Yeah.
and your accents on that car.
Hey, I love you like a brother, and I know your back is all messed up. I got 25 years left, and then I will be a pants pissing, dribbling mess. You laugh. This is what happens to Kelly males. This is my fate. We're superhumans up until about 77, and then it's over. So that's why I know you laughed about the tooth thing. I totally want to go. Dude, don't destroy my dreams. That would be awesome because I'm going to lose all my teeth because, like I said to the dentist, I'm really scared. But I've been brushing my teeth 2 and 3 times a day for 53, or not, obviously not 53, but, 50 some odd years. Oh, your teeth are in great shape, but your roots are gone and there's massive bone loss. That's not fair. That's like doing all your homework and going, well, Susie's
Still
cuter.
failing the test.
Yeah, Susie's cuter, so we're going to let her pass the test and you fail. Wait, what? But that's... Oh. So, yeah, it's just rug taken right out from under you. So, the faster I can get property, the faster I can just start cranking out vehicles because blacksmithing, ceramics, and all the other stuff I want to do. We'll do board games. We'll do D&D. This is it now. This is, what is it? Was it MGTOW? Men going their own way?
Their own way.
Because you should get a girlfriend. Yeah, the only women that tell me that try to find other women that want me to have a girlfriend, and they're unsuccessful. Batting 1,000. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But again, I don't think about that. I'm so focused on all of my projects and how much freedom I have. That's a fleeting, oh yeah, I'm all alone this Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, I'm all alone this New Year's Eve. It's not, Because Pete was like,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
well, you know what they say about MGTOW, and it's just the truth. It's just it's a truth. It's not a sad truth. It's just a truth. Big T, as Rob would say, is that you have a peace. There's nobody to pass information to. There's nobody to worry about. No complaint on it. It's just you. So it's just you. Whatever with your failures, it's just you. You get to do what you want on it. So you have an overall peace, and it's a quiet and stuff. It's like a serenity. You don't have nobody else to worry about, and you have nobody else complaining or something. So you can understand once some people go MGTOW or some people go monk mode, as they call it, or they get that peace. It's kind of hard to go backwards because all of a sudden, you can do whatever you want.
Well, yeah. The saddest reality of Western civilization is that we're raised on fairy tales, on Rapunzel and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and Cinderella and all this stuff. And that's not. One day you're going to meet a woman and she's going to take care of you, and you're just going to go to work and work 80 hours a week. And well, okay, yes, I'm just going to. Chamberlain the cat is still available. He needs to be in a one-cat home. Anyway, but it's a myth. It's not real. It's the Bible or Santa Claus. It's the aspect of, dude, people are people. And the greatest answer to the why didn't it work is that song by, oh, God damn it. There ain't no good guys. There ain't no bad guys. Who is that? Come on, the two of you know.
That's,
Come on.
We Just Disagree, and
Yes.
it's by...
What's his name? You're going to lose the $1 million.
Oh, I know. It was redone in the 90s by Sawyer Brown.
Hold on.
He did another song, too. You know, I can't remember who it is. But yeah, We Just Disagree.
Who is it by? Dave Mason, Yellow
Dave
Wolf,
Mason,
Dave Mason. We Just Disagree. And
we Just Disagree.
there's no more truth to reality than that song. Where, dude, it doesn't fucking matter in the end. Everything was 2021 was the worst year ever. No, 2015 was the worst year ever. And 2022 was the cherry on the cake. Oops. So the reality of that is that you learn to adapt. You learn to keep going. The most valuable skill in life is adaptivity, is change, is dealing with the oncoming flow. Yeah, it's great if you're good at math and history and English and underwater basket weaving and Latin from the 9th century, and that's awesome. But life is going to fuck you over more times than it's going to reward you. And it's not because you're you, and it's not because you're cursed, or any of that other bullshit. That's just the planet spinning around the sun, baby. That's what happens. No one's immune. Everyone goes through it. If you think that it's only you, well, then maybe you need to reevaluate your main character syndrome. Not to be like, angry old man, but...
Stop being a victim.
Yeah, that's the best advice, really. I'm glad that both of you agree. You're both nodding, kind of. So I'm going to take that as an agreement.
It is. Because it's going to happen. It's Murphy's Law. Anything that's going to happen. You gotta hit see a shit show. It's gotta happen. So why worry about it? You just go through it and keep going.
I really want to make a council truck. I want to paint it flat black. So even if the 54 cab isn't the best, dude, there's like 9 others out there. We'll use another one. There's like 5 more engines that are just sitting out in the rain that we can do a will it run. Dude, Guy, real quick.
Yep.
Joe, well, Rob will find this humorous, I hope. Joe was, what are we doing today? Way before I turned on my phone. I said, well, I'm screwing around with this scrap. I don't know what Pete's doing. They're going to do this thing. We have to unload Harold's truck because Joe texted me, but I didn't hear the text until way later because we were in Tempe, and I got there late, and the engines were already in the. And then Pete was kind of mad at me for being late. And it's like, dude, I get here when I can. I love this myth you have that I live in this 600 square foot studio apartment. I have cats and dishes to do and laundry and other. I can't just, be at your beck and call. It would be awesome to live out there, but the wildlife and your dogs would kill my cats, and that would fucking depress me more than you could possibly imagine, because these are my babies. These are my children.
Yeah.
I love them. Just like all other animals, these are people's children. So we get out there and we load everything up. And Quinn texted me, my ex-brother-in-law, and all this. So there was like a lot going on. The first day, like I said in the video, if I got there at just after 5:45, I didn't leave the yard at the ranch until 6:30.
Long day.
That was carrying stuff. It's that level when the level of sweat rings go from white to black. Thank you. It's that level of, you're beyond hard work. You're into constant work.
It's to the point where you're no longer sweating anymore because you sweated everything out completely, and you're emaciated to a point. Rob knows that, I know it. You work to a point where you push yourself beyond.
Yeah.
You're running on automatic. For those in the audience who doesn't know it, it's working to a point where you don't feel the pain anymore. You're just working to it, and when you stop, all of a sudden it hits you all at once.
Yeah.
Every nook, every impact, everything, every strain hits you all at once. You're gonna get the job.
I felt really bad because we left McClintock and University. Not exactly that, but there you go. So we want to stop at Denny's. Dude, I'm gross. I've been lying on I'm like, my skin is black. And I'm disgusting. We want to go to Denny's. Our treat. Never expected, always appreciated. All right, fine. 303 and Bell, I think. There's a Denny's near there. So it turns out that I went up the 101, but they went out the 10. So I got there way ahead. I look like a crazy homeless person. Normally, in reality, in the world, I appear homeless because you find out who's really treating you like a person when you look like you can't do anything for them and they're nice to you. That's a good human. If they try to dismiss you and make you go away, you're dealing with a grifter. So I'm there first, and at first nobody is paying me any mind, but as I walk across the parking lot, suddenly, and then they get there. Oh, they've got the big trailer. We get out. We walk in. Everybody's standing away from us. We all look disgusting. We're all gross. I'm like, hey, can you give us a table instead of a booth? Because just give us a table. And they're like, oh, okay. We've been moving cars and car parts all day. Sorry. I walk in. There's an older couple having breakfast. I walk around the table to sit down, and the woman next to us, this old redhead lady, gags and almost throws up.
Mm.
Yeah. That was 9 a.m. So we were there for like 4 or 5 hours. It was a long day. It was crazy. All we did was move stuff all day long. But it's satisfying, like you said, at the end. Rob, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting ready to wind it down. This is my 410s week. Tomorrow is St. Mary's Food Bank.
Yes.
Oh, cool. St. Mary's. Good place. Good organization.
I'm going to go help Harold for hours tomorrow. He's in the video in the not yesterday with Joe, but No, but I thought it was funny that Joe wanted no part of that. And then as soon as I explained what was going on, and it's a will and run, and millions of people watch this, and they get emotional, suddenly he took over the project. And you can hear it in the video. Here, let me try.
Good for him, yeah.
Yeah. I love Joe's funny. Joe cracks me up. Because I'll like tell a bunch of jokes. And everyone will laugh, and Joe will be like... And then later, he'll try to tell a joke, but it's like, that's just an insult. That's not really a joke. I'll just laugh it off. It's fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, I think that... I think that we could make some really cool steampunk cars out there. It would be great. And then it doesn't matter if they're go patina or not, because patina is steampunk.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if we can get Joe, he pulled out all 6 of those spark plugs. I mean, yeah, we broke one taking it out, but we saw him on the video. No rust on all 6. No rust.
As long as you put the marble mystery oil over and turn it by hand, do it slowly, a couple durations to it on it, you can get it running.
Well, you heard the argument. I'm like, what do you think about evaporust? What the hell is that? It's.
You didn't know? Oh, evaporust? Wow.
I know. Joe reacted. What the hell is that? It's. I saw it on several videos. They use evaporust. We've got the best one with the ATF, the acetone, and the Marvel Mystery Oil. Okay, I just wanted to know your. Okay, you're very mad about the evaporust. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's never used it. Yeah, I've used it. It's actually pretty good. You could take your old tools. What you need to do with him is take some evaporust, grab some of his old tools that are laying in the yard, put it in a bucket, and dump them in there. And watch it eat the rust away and clean the tools. Once he sees the value of it, then he'll become a believer of it. Until then, it's kind of like snake oil.
Pete has 3 levels of tools. Tools that are precious, that should not be touched. Tools that are used all the time. And then tools that are laying in the yard that eventually will make it into the scrap trailer.
Yeah. You use those tools, take a bucket of evaporust like a bed, put them in there, see how they cleans it up. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be a lot better than what it is.
Joe had almost a visceral reaction to evaporust. I was just asking him a question. And he's like, no, this is the best thing. I didn't ask if it was the best or not the best. I just, no. Acetone, Marble Mystery Oil, and automatic transmission foil. I believe you. You're fighting me, and we're agreeing. So many wars have started this way.
That's the old timers mix. Every old timer had a specific formula.
It works.
They use the same 3 pieces. But I remember being taught by the old timers, what was the first thing you poured into a gasoline inch to try and free it up?
Automatic transmission.
Diesel fuel.
Diesel.
Oh no.
Whoops.
Diesel fuel. Yeah. Diesel fuel. You poured diesel fuel down the carburetor because that way it got into the intake and it got valves and then it would work its way down and you let it sit for a couple of days. Came back and you turned it over with a wrench, cleared everything out.
The interesting thing was, at first he was like, why? And he said, what's Pete doing? I'm like, dude, Pete and Judy are exhausted. They're probably going to bed. Well, if they're going to bed, I'm going home. And I looked at him and I'm like, thanks. And he just looked at me like he didn't realize how harsh that was. Because it's like, you're the one that wants me to do projects with you. And now you're telling me, you, just like me, because Joe lives north of me. Us. Guy. But Rob, he lives I think he lives north of me. He lives off Union Hills. And
that's not too far from us.
Yeah, no, he's real close. So it's like, what takes me an hour to get out here? Me
Same, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and He missed Saturday, and he missed Saturday because he got confused and he turned off his alarm and he went back to sleep. And he felt really bad about it. Dude, it happens. Pete's not paying you. It's fine. All of this is volunteer. I probably lost 10 pounds on Saturday. Not from, like, I did this. But I did it all fucking 12 hours, like I did on the video. It's 12 hours, 3 trucks, 3 trips, 3 other trucks. All of us were filthy and exhausted by the end of the day. Dude, it's okay that you missed it. It's all right. It's not like you had to be there. But on the next day, you were already at the ranch when we were bringing the last of the stuff over. So don't treat me like I didn't do anything when I've already put 4 hours in. And then with the 58 chef, why are you doing this? For a will it run? Why are you doing this? For a will it run? And even during the videos, I don't understand why you're doing this. We're doing this is what you're doing. It's a will it run. So he didn't really understand. On one hand, he's like, why are you doing this? This is promoting the Pete's Truck and Hot Rod Range. This is what we're doing. For you, this is wasting our time on garbage. For the internet, this is a will it run video. And it doesn't matter what year the truck is, or what cylinders the truck is, or what make, or what model, or what fucking year. It's a will it run. And people want to watch us win or fail. They equally want to watch both. Because I would have done this. I would have done that. I would have done this. I would have done... That's what they're doing while they're watching the video. And I explained that to him off camera. And after a while, Joe got it. And he's on it. And then after a while, it's like, you're getting a little older, dude, and I totally get it. But halfway through the video, you should promote Pete. Oh, yeah, you're right. Meanwhile, in reality, I've been promoting him for 3 fucking years, dude. I'm the one that's been pushing them to the YouTube channel and the Fab Rats level and all the other. So, in the end, it's going to work because we may or may not get that engine to fire off, but we have a plethora of accoutrements to put. There's starters, there's wires, there's carburetors, there's. Pete's father is no longer with us, but Pete's father collected Chevy and GMC parts for 35 years. And then Pete started collecting parts on his own. And then when Pete's dad died, he got all of the parts. So Pete has 60 years of collecting, pack ratting. Not hoarding, because he does keep some. Yeah.
You'd be able to put something on.
Because he's like, I built a truck for $1,200. We need to make a video of that. And it's only now he's like, you're right. People are starting to yes, dude. Why would I steer you wrong? You're so used to people fucking with you and taking you for advantage. You're not realizing when you have somebody that, dude, in the beginning, we're not friends. I don't know you, blah, blah, blah. Now, when there's something that needs to be done, I'm the first one you call. That's the level of... This is what sucks about having a Pisces moon in the aspect of natal astrology. Your heart is on your sleeve, and you are completely passionate about everything you do. And others will take advantage of that. Others will guide you to their own needs and use your fuel to get to where they want to be. So it's only through time that, yeah, you really want to do this. Or even Bodyman Bill. At one point, after about a year, he turned on me and he's like, what's your angle on this? I'm big and I like to help. And he just looked at me for a long time and he walked away. And I'm like, there you go.
Things solved.
It's potato time. Thank you very much for watching. We are the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge, and I can't wait to come back for episode 36. We'll come up with something. Don't worry. In the meantime, watch all our crazy videos. Enjoy the mayhem. Like and subscribe. You could have watched anybody, but you decided to watch us. Dude, there's like 63 million in the podcast. Hashtag podcast. I was against hashtags. I understand now. They win. They win. I get it.
Hands down. Hands down.
We've doubled all of our views. Holy shit.
Yeah. And even more some as you go along. When you hashtag more, oh man, it just got to open doors like crazy. It's nuts, isn't it? It's unreal.
Just like for Worldwide Villains, I don't need to be number one. I really don't. But I'd really like to be, listed among at least the top 20. That would be awesome.
You just want to be invited to the party. That's all.
Yeah. Maybe not. We're all old. We'll just let me Zoom the party or Discord it like now.
Yeah.
Do either one of you have any closing? Remember, Body and Soul candles. We owe Lauren so much.
And put your comments. Put your comments and let you know what you come up. And if you won $1 million, if you won unlimited money, what would you build and buy? Let us know. We may talk about it next week and look at the best comments.
Rob?
And the first rule of life, first rule of Mason, first rule of just being proper geek. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. That's the most it's easy to tear somebody down. Only a real hero can lift them up. Support your friends. Support your acquaintances. Hey, if they're in your circle, support your enemies. It's fun to watch them fail. But you need to support everybody. Hopefully Lunk will join us next week. Ron and Chris did not join us. Sorry about that. That's life interrupts. Oh my goodness, I'm having such indigestion from... I'm a terrible cook. I don't claim to be a good cook. It's not one of my things. But I tried to make, the skillet, frozen skillet meals, the bird's eye view, I think, or whatever it was. I got the chicken fried rice. I fucked it up. But then I thought, Finn's not going to want fried rice. He's going to want lo mein. That's what we normally get from Panda Express. So then I got the lo mein cans, that we've been having forever for a long time. I ruined that too. So I just totally failed with dinner tonight. That's why I like to just buy dinner on Monday, because we're doing this anyway. So it's like I'm trying to set stuff up and add to videos and do this and post on that. But then I got to make dinner and I'm running back and forth. So one of those things is bound to fail. Usually it's on the internet, but tonight it was in the kitchen.
Well, it's always tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to help Harold. I promise to I'm going to ask Harold if I can take video of the 3 vintage vehicles in his yard. The Malibu, the Ranchero, and the 55 truck. But, yeah, I have to get over there at 5, 6 in the morning. He left me a voicemail, and I need the money, so I can't say no. He's like, what am I going to pay you, by the hour or by the job? Well, you're the boss, so it's pretty much up to you. This isn't landscaping, dude. This is lifting heavy, heavy beams so that you can make a gazebo. It's awesome, too. So jealous. He's waiting for his young wife to come from the Philippines. It's all set up. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, sleep well.
Oh, yes.
Play nice. If you can't play nice, don't get caught.
Absolutely.
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught. Thank you for watching. Stay geeky. That's the main thing. And yes, please like and subscribe. Guys already gone. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.